last time. I can feel that burning deep inside. Gonna give it all I am. Gotta feel that power in my hands. The beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
The All-Star Giants aren't standing quite so tall after their 2-2 start to the league. Tonight they'll be looking for home court inspiration against their local rivals. But can the Phoenix pick it up after their mauling by the Lions last weekend and a winless start to the campaign?
Spin. Looking to reply straight to the three. To the corner. For three! Driving in with the flush. Yeah, I'm on top of my game, so the channel never change.
We're live from the National Basketball Performance Centre for the Northwest Derby between the Manchester Giants and the Cheshire Phoenix. It is good to be back in Manchester for the first time this season, and high expectations this year for the Giants. The Phoenix, well, right now they need to arrest the slide. Drew Lasker, Kieran Achara bringing the expert as ever. Good to see you both. Exciting times for the Giants right now, Kieran.
Really exciting times, you know, second year with new ownership, a whole new culture, fans back in the arena, and a whole load of new faces.
Yeah, speaking of new faces, they don't get much bigger than Dan Clark, right, Drew? Team GB's captain, one of the biggest names, if not the biggest, in British basketball. How important is his presence in the league this year?
Well, I mean, it's huge. Somebody with that his resume, the caliber of player, it brings validation to the British Basketball League, and hopefully the newer generation will be inspired to stay and make a career here as well.
Our first look at him this year, of course. Cheshire, well, we saw them last week. Difficult night, I think it's fair to say, diplomatically so, against the Lions. They're 0-3 so far this year against the Giants, but you think tonight could be different, Drew?
Yeah, we always say at Newcastle that it's very difficult to beat a team 4 times, and Cheshire will be feeling good about themselves because this is the first opportunity to get to play these guys healthy with a full roster, so I'll be looking for them to be roaring tonight.
Right, as I mentioned, tough start to proceedings in the league anyway for the Cheshire Phoenix. Remember, a lot of cup games in Cheshire, going quite well in that competition, but as you can see, not so much so far early doors, of course, as far as the championship standings go. Cheshire at the bottom there, no wins out of 3. Manchester with a 2-2 start. Both of those losses have come against Sheffield, who sit on top of the BBL right now. Newcastle, they bounced back from their defeat against Leicester, which we saw on Sky Sports on opening weekend, to beat Plymouth and Surrey. That, I'm sure, puts a big smile on your face, Drew Lasker. You can't see it, but it's a very big smile, ladies and gentlemen, that we're seeing right now. Our game tonight, the only championship fixture, because you will see there Saturday and Sunday, it's all about the BBL Cup. London against Sheffield, Leicester versus Cheshire, so Cheshire doubling down. Glasgow play Bristol on Sunday, as to Manchester. They're also through to the quarters, taking on Surrey. Completing the lineup, we'll have news, incidentally, of the semi-final draw in the Cup and the first round of the BBL Trophy as well, a little bit later on in the show. How much, Kieran, is that going to be playing on their minds tonight, the fact they've got a big cup game coming up?
It's not. Right now they're thinking just win the next game. They need to find a way to get some of that rhythm and get rhythm going. It's that next game, so I'm sure it's not even crossing their minds at this moment in time.
They've both played each other, as we said at the top, 3 times already this season. 2 blowouts for Cheshire, but one much closer game. This was on Halloween, a real shootout it was as well. Both teams shot over 50% from three-point range. The lead changed hands on 13 occasions as well, Kieran, so it was a real thriller. What do you make of, why was this game a lot closer than the other two?
Exactly that. Both teams shot the ball extremely well, and actually looking, Teddy had a big opportunity that blown a layup that could have won the game, so it could have went either way.
Teddy could have won the game. Had a brilliant game nevertheless, though. A triple-double from him. Cheshire will be hoping for more of the same from him tonight. Right, we're going to look at both teams. We're going to start with Manchester as we get a closer look inside the locker room.
Aside from me,
besides me,
I'm the best player. No one can shoot like me, man.
Me, I back myself.
Dan Clark.
Dan Clark, 7 foot, can do everything. Dan's just the most experienced.
He's the most decorated, the OG of the team.
I think Tay probably got a lot in his bag, a lot of good skill set, but probably Dan Clark.
Me. No, I'll go back on that. Martavius, I like the way he plays, I like the rhythm he's got. He just has a general good flow when he's on the floor.
Because I can do it all, man. Like, I can give you a bucket, I can assist, I can coach. If you need me to step out and coach, I will coach.
I'd probably have to say Dan again, just because I like the way he shoots.
For a guy who's 7 foot, I think a lot of people are unused to seeing a guy that big shoot so well.
I'll give it to Beanhead Will.
Will Saunders, that's my Splash cousin. Have you heard of the Splash Brothers? I guess we're the B-Tech version of that.
Will, a.k.a. Baldy. But he's the best because he's bald.
You know what I mean? You got the answer already, mate. Next one.
Will and Dan, definitely.
Dan Clark.
Dan, all the time. What type of stuff does he say?
I've seen Milk Tan quicker than some guys.
Ref, are you blind? What are you doing, ref? Call the foul, ref. And then coach will tell him to chill out, and he'll be like...
Will. I don't know, I think it's an ego thing with the bald head. Like, it's something about that.
Probably Jamel, I think.
Jamel. He would take everything to heart with the movie, even if it's not real, so I want to say Jamel.
You know what, me? I'm getting way more emotional the older I get.
Francois. Because I heard he got really sad at the Bond movie ended.
I'm going to say my boy Francois again, because I didn't see it happen.
Kingsley's too loud for me.
Maybe Dan. He's a bully.
The Americans, maybe. I'm not going to get into team showers after the game, but...
Yeah, the Americans, because they don't shower. The thing is, if they're offended by it, then so what? Like, shower.
Coach. Really awkward, isn't it?
My boy Kingsley.
Kingsley.
You know, coaches say go 50%. Kingsley's going 120. Like, I love the energy, but, bruh, we're trying to work on something here.
Kingsley. Because his big head's always messing around in practice.
Kingsley.
What does he look like when he's in his own world? Can I say me? Absolutely. Oh yeah, me then. Probably Dave Old, just because I'd love to see how he reacts to it. I mean, the fact that I would dunk on someone's like up there, like, you know, I think the whole team would go wild.
The only thing I dunk is a cup of tea with a biscuit.
Dan cool though, but I would dunk on Dan. Because he old. He can't jump with me.
Tyreek.
Me and him always going at it. The whole team. Because they all done said some slick words about my height. You know what I'm saying? So I get all of them if I could.
No doubt they're a lively bunch, I think it's fair to say. If Dan Clark is an OG, Kieran Achar, what does that make you?
Honestly, that was heartbreaking, thinking how old I really am. Because Dan was just a young guy on the team, you know, so... Oh, wow.
Should Coach Gardner be worried? Because it seems like Martavius Winght's after his job as well.
No, he's such a character, and that's great to see. That's what we want to see. We want to see the players behind closed doors, what they actually like, and you can see that they're a very, very close-knit team.
He's also said, Martavius, that bald players are the best, and I'm just trying to work out if Ant Rowe paid him to say that. What do you think, Drew?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think money exchanged hands there. We've got to tackle this shower issue as well, Drew Lasker, because that's just not acceptable behaviour in your eyes, is it?
I mean, firstly, men stink, especially when they sweat. So we got a rule at Newcastle after practice and road games. Everybody got a shower. You got to see Mr. 27, Darius Defoe.
But that only happens because, like, I could never understand. But it was always the American players, even in the teams I'd played for. So there's definitely something going on there, Drew.
Definitely going to be answering to Mr. Defoe on that one, I could tell you. Right, let's take a look at the team roster for Manchester. We've talked about Dan Clark, the Team GB skipper, of course, the biggest news of the off-season. Jamal Anderson, though, another major signing coming from the title-winning Leicester Riders, another great addition. We saw Martavius Winght and Tyreek Armstrong as well, both adding real firepower. Very much a team on the up and up then. Let's start with Dan Clark. we heard from his teammates then that not many 7-foot players shoot the way he does.
Definitely not. And the crazy thing about Dan is from half court he can shoot the exact same form. Like, it's unbelievable the strength he has. So he adds such a dimension to the team. Obviously he can score, he can shoot the three, but his passing ability as well, he makes his teammates around him better. What
are the biggest challenges for him acclimatising to life in the BBL, do you think?
I was always saying it's like playing chess before in the ACB to now playing checkers. But Dan's be able to play both. You know, he has that ability. It's very much a tactical thing. So playing at that level, and now it's more about individual skill and bringing that other side in the BBL.
15 seasons in Spain, coming back home, and high hopes indeed on his shoulders, and indeed the Giants. Jamel Anderson, another big addition, a winner to boot as well. 2 titles, 2 cup wins, a trophy during his time at Leicester, in the GB squad for the World Cup qualifiers as well. So congratulations to him. Drew, what do you make of his move from the Riders to Manchester?
I mean, for me, it's like a guy going and spreading his wings, and I like that he brings that winning mentality here to the squad. And Jamel Anderson is a guy that can guard 1 through 4 anybody in the British Basketball League.
Crucial player. Martavius McKnight certainly already won a few friends, I think, from his performance in the locker room. Already winning some admirers as well with his performances on court. Dan Clark was talking about his rhythm and his flow when he's on the ball, Kieran. Have you picked that up from watching him?
Definitely. No, he is the go-to guy. You see him dancing here right now, finding his rhythm.
Almost as good as Drew's dancing pre-game, I like.
But he just knows how to score the ball, and it's natural too. It's got a really natural flow to it.
Tyreek Armstrong, new guard they brought in. I believe, says Jamie Edwards, the Giants owner, I believe this is a player who fans and players alike will enjoy watching. So I suspect, Drew, we're looking at a real entertainer here.
Absolutely, a dynamic playmaker. And also, he's from my hometown, Houston, Texas. So you know what we bring. We bring that grit, we bring that toughness, and he's a showstopper.
You're going to be rooting for him, no doubt about that. All right, then. An all-star lineup, I think it's fair to say. Those are the Manchester Giants. Next up, we're going to take a closer look at the Cheshire Phoenix.
I like my space, and Mike will probably take up too much space.
Mike looks like a big snorer.
He's just so big as well, so I wouldn't even get my leg room.
I probably wouldn't want to sit next to him on the bus.
Welcome back to Manchester. Friday night basketball and a local derby tonight on Sky Sports as the Phoenix take on the Giants. Of course, we saw the Phoenix live this time last week as well in London, and it was, I think it's fair to say, a slow start for Cheshire, particularly defensively. Ant Rowe described it in commentary as Cheshire being in an absolute daze at the top. So, Drew Lasker, how will Coach Thomas look to change that up tonight and start more effectively?
Well, I think he will be telling those guys, we got to come out and play desperate basketball. I don't think it has anything to do about tactics. It has to come about effort and determination, and I'm pretty sure he showed them clips from London the first couple of plays.
Yeah, effort was something he talked about a lot, and disparagingly so about his team. Right, let's find out a little bit more about this Cheshire Phoenix roster.
Best shooter is definitely Josh McFlurgan.
It's probably Josh.
Oh, Josh. McSwag.
Me.
I know all about Josh. He knocked me out of the playoffs my first year in college. Yeah, definitely his stroke. He's smooth.
Whenever the ball leaves his hand, you're more shocked if he misses.
I do a lot of shooting drills with him and yeah, just knock down.
Teddy, Naaman, and Levi.
Teddy's got all the experience in the world. He's played everywhere. Naaman is just, he's nice. That's the only word I got for him, nice.
I think the best player in the team is Teddy.
I think personally he just gives everything he can to the team. The best player is Teddy Okerafo, followed by, I don't know who, but probably Naaman or Levi.
I'll give it to Naaman.
Naaman's probably the best one-on-one player. He's got a lot of different moves in his bag.
Scooting myself, I'd have to say Naaman.
I'll definitely put myself up there, yes, absolutely.
Levi's on there too. He got an honorable mention.
The best one-on-one player on the team is Levi.
Levi Bradley.
Levi Bradley, because he's been cooking in the last few games one-on-one.
Probably Mike.
I like my space, and Mike will probably take up too much space.
Mike looks like a big snorer.
He's just so big as well, so I wouldn't even get my leg room.
I probably wouldn't want to sit next to him on a bus.
If I'm trying to sleep, definitely put me as far away from Noah as possible.
Mike or Rad, just because they're the biggest and take up a lot of space. Noah would probably talk my head off. But if I had headphones, I'd probably be fine.
We got three loud guys. We got Noah, Naaman, and Levi. They're all quite loud guys.
Noah Dickerson.
Noah's always talking.
Noah took the air off.
Noah for sure.
100% Noah Dickerson.
He's been in the shortest amount of time, but he doesn't stop talking.
Levi Bradley, he's always talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and all other kind of crazy things, and we tired of hearing it.
I believe it's two, either Radwan or Kyle.
Kyle or Rad. There's one of those two.
Just always writing banter in the group chat.
Posting something funny.
I've always going back and forth, bantering between one another.
Talking about, I don't know, Pastor and NBA.
We'll be sending each other pictures of what we look like.
Yesterday, for example, it was a pasta dish that I made. I put it in there.
And, you know, honestly speaking, I catch a couple strays in there, too.
So it's hilarious.
I'll say LeBron James for a coach.
Why?
Smart, very smart.
Give him Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Adam Sandler. Yeah, Adam Sandler would definitely play coach in the movie.
The guy from Wall Street, not Leonardo.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Boom. First person that came to mind immediately.
Just because he's really like laid back, funny. Coach is kind of like that. He's chilled.
I haven't really seen that many actors with his qualities.
Guys, we've got a rebound. We've got a rebound.
Not Leonardo. You just got to feel for Coach when he heard that inflection. You got to feel for Big Mike as well, because you get the sense he's riding on the coach alone, Kieran. Does that bring back memories?
The big men need that love. Yeah. Come sit beside us. Come sit beside us.
There are some big characters in both locker rooms, Drew. We've just seen in the Phoenix locker room, but they're big players, big-time players you get a sense on the court as well. It hasn't quite gelled for them yet so far, but we talked about the high hopes for Manchester this season. Cheshire have come into this year as well, aiming high, haven't they?
Yeah, and I was really high on them. They did a great job in the offseason, but they've gotten off to a rough start so far in the championship. And it's come down to one thing. It's come down to defense. And I want to see more on the defensive end tonight from the Cheshire Phoenix.
Let's take a look at their roster in a little bit more detail. Teddy Okerafo, the team's skipper, who of course played in Bristol last year, part of Team GB as well. Big Mike came in from Plymouth. Ben Motford, another international as well. He was a late signing, so some strong new faces on the roster. Kyle Carey, who impressed us last week, He is a key player as well. The US imports, Namon Wright and Levi Bradley, they made an impact, have made an impact already this season. Noah Dickerson, that's the crucial name to look out for because he wasn't playing last week on Sky Sports. He is tonight, and they've got high hopes for this guy, Kieran, haven't they?
They definitely do, you know, and for me it's, you know, it's a new player. I saw him a little bit earlier on playing a bit of limited minutes, so I'm just waiting to see the impact he's actually going to be making.
He played incidentally alongside Ben Simmons in high school and a strong college football career in Washington as well. So some great heritage there. Looking forward to seeing Noah Dickerson in action. Always a pleasure to see Big Mike in action as well. The double-double machine, as you call him, Kieran. And you like the unselfish work that he does in particular, don't you?
He does all the grafting, you know. I love bigs who can play without the ball, you know. They can score without the ball, and the way I say that is the big offensive rebounds, just setting great screens. That's the difference he makes and brings to this team.
Teddy O, another key player for this Cheshire Phoenix lineup, as we saw earlier on this season in that thriller. A triple-double for him. He had a mixed time last season, didn't he, Drew? Are we starting to see the real Teddy O this year?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at his numbers in the cup competition, he was up there in all categories, but since the championship has started, those numbers have dropped, and Teddy has to raise his game up because the Cheshire Phoenix are only going to go as far as Teddy takes them.
Last week, you were talking about a successful backcourt partnership is down to early communication. Based on what you saw up close last week, is that starting to gel, do you think, or still work to be done there?
I think it's still a lot of work to be done. On the defensive end, on the offensive end, we know that we know him and Namon Wright got a great relationship, but defensively, they got to get it going.
Speaking of Namon Wright, he had time at Leicester, of course, back in the day. You particularly like his aggression, don't you, Kieran?
I like how aggressive he is. I like how he gets to the free throw line, and I think it was said in the VT, he's nice. Like, the boy can play.
What are you hoping to see from Namon Wright tonight, the bats we didn't see last week?
Terrible American accent, by the way.
That wasn't even an American accent.
Dragon accent.
But again, I keep harping on it, but defense. I mean, we know that he's one of the guys on the court that can give you 30 points. But I was really disappointed in the defensive effort, in particular against Dirk Williams. So I want to see him set the tone tonight against Martavius McKnight.
So we want to see defense from him. What do we want to see from Josh McSwiggan, Kieran? Because all his teammates said he was the best shooter. He didn't even blink, but are you seeing enough from him offensively?
Not yet. You know, I had to go to Dan actually for his stats, and you know, he's a career 38% three-point shooter. You know, he's in the low 30s at this moment in time. I think he's got a great body, he does a lot of great work defensively, but I think he can add a notch. He's low 30% right now in three-point shooting. If he can get up to that 40% mark, I think that's going to be the Josh McSwiggan Cheshire are going to need to see.
Those differences, fundamental differences, will make a big change, of course, collectively, offensively. Levi Bradley's another player who can shoot too, of course. How important is it that he gets going early tonight?
Yeah, it's very important because if he gets going, then he can open those things up for Ocho Robio down low, down inside, where they got to get some easy buckets. So looking for Levi Bradley to have a great one tonight.
What are you hoping to see from Levi Bradley tonight, Kieran?
Aggression. You know, I think he's going to have to be, when I'm saying the battle of the bigs is going to be a crucial battle. So being able to, you know, from a defensive perspective, you have to keep Manchester hungry defensively as well, and that'll help tire them out. So I think Levi Bradley needs to be defensive, you know, have a strong mindset, be aggressive, and hopefully draw some fouls.
Okay, let's take a close look and remind ourselves of Manchester's start to the season. The Manchester results have been a mixed bag, I think we'll see there. They've had a decent run, like Cheshire, in the Cup. Both those defeats coming to Sheffield. We should put that in context because Sheffield have started the season particularly strongly, haven't they?
Very much so. And Rodney Glasgow, the addition, it just helped gel. He's gelled straight away, made some big plays, and they're looking really, really, really good.
Phoenix, as we've talked about, lost their first 3 in the league, going better in the Cup as well. And as Drew was mentioning earlier on, a big part of that, their league form is because they've been banged up and had some key injuries. So again, put the context there. Their only win in their last 5 in the Cup against the Newcastle Eagles.
Yeah, I think that has to do with the loss of Michael Jarobio. Obviously, he missed a couple of games. They lost his inside presence offensively and defensively. So you haven't seen the best version of Cheshire Phoenix yet.
And if you look at the scores there, with the exception of London, they've been quite tight games, haven't they, Kieran?
Very tight games, and that, you know, comes down to a few little things. You know, like I was mentioning, the blown layups, the missed opportunity, the missed open threes. Clean that up, have a more defensive focus, and they're in every single game.
Let's take a look at the team comparisons. Head-to-head, Manchester, well, they're putting points on the board, ranking third in the BBL right now. High rankings in shooting averages, assists as well, which Drew quite evidently indicates this offense is humming right now, isn't it?
Yeah, you look at their roster from 1 to 12, they got great depth. They got 12 legitimate guys that can go out there and produce. They have no one averaging over 30 minutes except McKnight.
Looking at the numbers for Cheshire, Kieran, it makes altogether different readings. So they don't need to improve across the board. With this particular matchup tonight, where would you like to see those improvements coming?
I think first and foremost the three-point shoot percentage, get that up there, make it a slugfest like they did in the last game. The way they shot the ball at 3 last game kept them in the game. So I think tonight they're going to do the exact same thing, but then again they have to stop Dan Clark at three-point shots as well.
Let's take a look at the team leaders. The key matchup, Kieran, that you are most looking forward to seeing tonight.
For me, it's an interesting matchup because you've got Dan Clark, Mike Ochirobia. Dan shot the ball really well. I want to see Ochirobia's adjustments to guarding Dan Clark at the three-point line.
All right, time to hear from both coaches Lloyd Gardner and Ben Thomas.
Coach, first appearance on Sky Sports. How exciting to showcase this Manchester fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. We've had some good crowds here in Manchester so far. Loud, passionate fans. They've created a good atmosphere. So I'm sure they'll be ready to go with the Sky Sports cameras. And same for us. Team's ready to go. So looking forward to it.
What's the reasoning behind an inconsistent start to league play?
I think we had a couple of key players missing. So Mike was out towards the end of the cup and going into the league, and when you miss such a big player in your team, like obviously a lot of guys have to step up and do different roles, and I just don't think that we got like a proper flow going.
It's been a tough start for lots of teams, lots of reasons. I think obviously our scheduling's been funny. We seem to have played the same teams over and over again. This is fourth time we've played Cheshire already, or fourth time we play them once more as well, right, in December. So I think teams know each other, and that's always going to lead when you've got two teams that are pretty evenly matched.
And a great opportunity to get on the right track today. What's been the message to the team this week?
Just make sure they don't get anything easy. We've had two close games with this team where they beat us in overtime and then beat us by 1 point first game of the championship. Last time we played here was a bad performance for us. So we feel like we really owe Manchester one, but I think we owe the performance to ourselves more than anything.
What have you learned about these guys?
Well, we've learned, they can score. Like I said, we gave up 91 to them last time, a couple of weeks ago. So, a lot of guys that we know well. A lot of kind of familiar faces between the teams. Obviously, they've got some guys that play for the senior national team. We do as well, and Americans know each other, things like that.
They're a good team. They've got a really good core of British players. Obviously, Dan Clark is a huge addition to them. Makes us, defend the big guy spot a completely different way to every other big guy in the league because of the skill set that he has. I think their American guards are very good. Tyreek Armstrong and McKnight, they do a great job controlling the tempo and getting to the basket.
What are the keys to victory?
I think we've kind of talked on the consistency of effort, especially on the defensive end. I think, for us, the game will be won on defense.
Obviously, to lock in defensively and make sure they don't get anything easy, but we really have to get more penetration on offense, get into the key, different guys, not just rely on Teddy to sort of get the ball inside. If we can attack them in the middle in the key, then we'll create, whether that's a layup, whether that's a shot on the perimeter, whether that's for one of the bigs. If we do that, we can win this game.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
It's great to see Lloyd Gardner with the top job in the BBL. Incidentally, the BBL Manager of the Month, Coach of the Month. He's put in a lot of the hard yards, hasn't he, in British basketball over the years, Kieran?
He is definitely putting a graft. Again, he was an assistant coach for me under the GB team. Puts a wealth of knowledge, and I'm glad he's getting the opportunity to showcase it at the big stage.
One more for you, Drew. The backcourt battle. You're keen on seeing Neymar Wright versus Martavius McKnight, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Being a former two-guard, I want to see those guys go at it. Those guys can light up the scoreboard. Both are capable of scoring 30, but I want to really key in if Neymar Wright is going to take this matchup personally on the defensive end.
Well, there isn't a long time for you to wait to find out the answer to that question because we are getting close to tip-off here in Manchester. Giants, Phoenix, coming next.
Right from the start, fellas, right from the start. Our first 5 minutes. Our first 5 minutes is important for us right now. Let's go. Just focus on that. That first 5 minutes. From the start.
That is too nice. Carey driving in with the flush.
Big night at the BBL, even at this early stage. Manchester, well, they want to lay down a marker with regards to their title credentials. Cheshire is a team full of talent, but they need to kickstart their league campaign tonight. Let's head over to our commentary team for the first time this evening, and a very good evening to Atro and Dan Rowley.
Good evening, Nat. Good evening, everybody. And local derby, a lot of pride on the line. These two teams really love to beat each other.
Huge northwest derby. We've seen some close encounters already this year. Really excited about this backcourt. Armstrong and McKnight, a lot of firepower in that lineup.
Certainly is, and obviously Dan Clark in the middle. Let's have a look at the starting five. Cheshire Phoenix, we talked about that game last week. What do you feel they need to change this time around, this five guys, as they start the game?
I think Drew touched on it before the show. Defense, they have to put in a better effort defensively. Conceding 113 points against this powerful Manchester Giants team, just not going to cut it.
Well, the two teams out on court, and we are ready to get things underway. Another point that Drew made at the top of the show. Tough to beat a team 4 times in a row in fairly quick succession as well. It is the Manchester Giants who get the opening possession here in Manchester. Here's Anderson. Floats it a little bit short, and Garafor eventually coming up with the loose ball.
Well, that's encouraging for the Phoenix defense. Get an early stop, build that confidence high.
Here's Wright. Round the screen. Back to Carey. Puts it on the floor, looking to attack the rim. And gets the soft bounce in.
Well, we've seen Cole Carey be very effective when he penetrates in the rim, and there he does against one of the better defenders in the league, in Jamal Anderson.
Clark for 3. Well, they dodged a bullet there. You cannot give him that sort of room at the top.
No, and it's really difficult for a big guy like Mike Archerovia, who's used to defending big guys in and around the basket, so he's going to have to make sure he locates Dan Clark out for beyond the perimeter.
Anderson knocking it loose. One of the best defensive players, most versatile defensive players in the league. Here's Clark open again, and this time he goes past him but loses the ball. In the opposite corner, a little bit short.
See, and that's really hard for Mark Archerovia there. Outside there on the three-point line, he went for the fake there, and Dan Clark should have had a wide open layup.
Oh, Wright throws it away. Armstrong in transition, dumps it off to Anderson, who can't finish. Oh, they just can't get the ball in the basket, Manchester.
Wow. Cheshire Phoenix back on numbers now. Manchester Giants not making life easy for themselves.
Here's McKnight at the elbow, and probably the most difficult shot of them all.
Yes, but that's a guy, Mactavius McKnight, who can make a bunch of difficult shots, and he settles the camp here and puts them on the board. 2-2.
Well, Drew Lasker has joined us in commentary as Armstrong steals it away and will chase it back and lay it in. And Giants struggle to put the ball in the basket here, Drew. But Cheshire defensively have given up some shots that you wouldn't want to see.
Exactly, and Cheshire are very lucky. It could easily be 12-2 at the moment. You give Dan Clark 2 open looks. They missed a fast break opportunity. Cheshire needs to turn it up on the defensive end.
Deflected out of bounds, and it will be a Phoenix ball from the end. This is good defense, sneaking him round the back to poke it away. It was a bit high. Ocherobia did well to hang on to that. Okurafo for three, knocks it down.
Good response there from Teddy Okurafo. He didn't want to obviously turn the ball over there in that vulnerable position. He makes a men's zone, knocking down that three.
Here's Armstrong working the pick and roll, kicks it out to Steele in the corner. His three rings out.
Another great look.
Well, eventually they're going to start dropping on there. Here's Bradley with a decent sight for three, and he can't make it.
Wow, the pace at which this game has started, very up and down. A lot of shots going up already.
Well, it was 91-92 last time they played, and if they can make a few of the shots, we might get there, given the pace of the game.
But these teams have played each other 4 times. I would think each team would be a little bit more stingy on the defensive end.
Well, it's definitely missed offense rather than great defense that's kept the score at 5-4 here. Garafo getting in close. Clark with the rebound. Armstrong, he went under the screen on him, and that's another good look. Carey pushing hard in transition, trying to take the contact, and he will go to the line for 2.
Cole Carey is really good in the open floor. I think he can be very, very dangerous for this team. Given the ball, he's skillful enough and big enough, long enough and athletic enough to get all the way to the rim, and he's done a good job there at getting the defense to commit a foul.
And that's what we talked about last week with the Cheshire Phoenix, is that is Carey's attribute. But in order to run, you got to get stops. Right now, they're very fortunate because it's just missed shots, but they got to tighten up on the scouting report.
Well, both teams making a change here. Hudson into the game for Manchester. Montford in for the Phoenix.
Well, a bit of a concern for the Phoenix early as well. Yes, they're lucky that the Giants have missed shots, but they got beat up very badly on the rebounds last week against the London Lions, and you've got a Tyreek Armstrong who's got 3 offensive rebounds already, and I think he's 5'10". If it says 5'10", but I don't know if he's 5'10", so the Cheshire Phoenix have to do a better job of just getting stops, but also collecting the rebounds.
Here's Hudson, and Carey commits the foul.
Just a foul 50 feet from the basket that just uncalled for, and that might come back to haunt him later on in the game.
Well, Garafo straight back into the game for Carey. I don't know if it was related to the foul or whether they pulled him out to discuss something. I assume it was because of the foul. It's only the first of the game. Here's Steele looking to drive. Out to Hudson. Anderson in the corner. Leaves it short. Ocherobia with the rebound.
A solid stance there from Phoenix, making the Giants earn their points.
Bradley underneath, and he finishes for 2.
Bradley, another guy who can score in bunches. 15 points a game. He's very long, 6'9". Good left-hand finish from him.
Great touch around the rim.
Steele on the pick and roll, has it knocked away. Okurafo out and running. They won't catch. That'll be a goaltend. Steele chasing it back, but that'll be worth 2.
Well, a little change of fortune here from this Phoenix. They've withstood the early storm, and now they're getting a little bit of joy. Again, Drew, like you said, it's another stop. It's another turnover, and how much easier is it to score the ball when you've got these fast break points?
And it's important for Teddy because right now in the league play, he's only shooting 17% from the 2. So in order to get going, get to the free throw line, get layups.
Here's Clark. Whelan trying to get open, and they helped off Clark, and that's the result when you do that.
That is the one thing you cannot do. I'm sitting here screaming, no, but Dan Clark fully punishes them and makes them pay by knocking down that
And I'm sure on the scouting report, it's underlined, it's in bold, it's in italics. Do not leave Dan Clark open at the top of the key.
There's Whelan attacking, using his body well to finish in off the glass.
And that's what Jordan Whelan does really well. He's fearless in the open floor, and he'll also knock down an open shot.
Defense the cry from the home fans. They've cut it down to 1. Chirobia gets it to Okarafor late in the shot clock. Looking to get it back to the big man. He needs to go up here. He can't get the ball away in time. Good work from the Giants just to force him to try and rearrange the ball.
I thought it was good patience there from Teddy Okarafor there, and it was a nice little bounce pass, but it just got caught on his hip, and Mike Ochirubia couldn't quite gather it together to go up, and subsequently ran out of time. But again, at least the Phoenix are getting things in and around the rim here, and Okarafor has been able to control the offense.
Bakali's come in for Cheshire, assuming he's been told don't help off Clark on the way in. Clark looking to go to work in the low block to the fall away. That is a trademark Dan Clark shot, but it falls short. Anderson called for the foul.
Well, it was one of those awkward, I think, collisions that I think the referee was forced into calling it. It looked like and slow-mo, it's easy for us to sit here and say, okay, it's not much of a thing there, but it looked very awkward, and to the point where Phoenix lost possession.
Well, that's the thing. I think if he pulls the ball and passes it on, maybe the referee lets that go. Because he loses the ball, he has to do something about that.
And he did a great job of settling. I've seen you do that before, Ann, as well. Throw your hands up and say, oh. Works every time.
And running in transition with his knees.
We got video footage of that somewhere, surely.
It was a long time ago. Here's Wright. Getting into the paint. Great finish from Naaman Wright.
That is exactly what that was, Dan. Great finish. And what I like about Naaman Wright, he hasn't forced up shots. He waits for the game to come to him and finishes around the rim there.
Exactly. Much needed buckets by Teddy, but how did he get it? On the defensive end. Great play there by Teddy O.
Oh, nice cut back door from Whelan and a good feed to find him.
They do a lot of their offense is dictated there with Dan Clark at the top there, and he sees the floor so well, and someone like Jordan Whelan, just steal, they'll just cut, and he'll find them.
He's looking a bit fatigued there, Clark. I think he's called for a substitution. Here's Mockford.
This game is fast, Dan. It's up and down.
I mean, Teddy O's asked for a sub as well. I mean, the intensity in here is crazy.
Dan Clark's like, this isn't Spain, this is too fast.
Here's Whelan working the pick and roll, dropping it back to Clark, and Bakali with the foul. He won't get his substitution just yet. He'll have to go to the free throw line first.
Well, I think he'll be happy that the play's just stopped, and I think both teams will. It's been a high tempo and a good pass here from Whelan for the cut-in. Dan Clark, 6'11", equally matched against Radwan Bakali, who's also 6'11" and long. So there's some big bodies banging around the rim inside tonight.
And what's been impressive about the Giants is their depth, and you just touched on Jordan Whelan. He's probably gotten a bad end of the stick when it comes to minutes, but what a problem to have.
Yeah, Lewis, who's about to come in as well, probably in a similar sort of position, and David Ulf, who hasn't played for them. We think he might be able to play by the end of December. They've got, unbelievable depth, really, the Manchester Giants this year, and that sometimes is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, and I spoke to Coach early in the week, in particular with his two Americans playing low minutes, and he said Dan Clark, Jamel Anderson are playing great.
Yep. Can't argue with that.
But they'll be much needed down the stretch.
And Bakali at the free throw line, almost stolen away by Saunders.
And it's great to see Will out there healthy. He was my teammate 2 years ago, and you could just tell he just wasn't the same. He had an ankle injury that he needed surgery on, and now you're starting to see the real Will Saunders.
Tremendous shooter of the ball. Again, another one with such size that it's almost impossible to guard that shot. Here's Mockford for three. Off the mark. Wright trying to keep it alive, but Anderson gets it. Here's Saunders driving hard to the basket. Nice finish.
And that's a great example there of securing the rebound and outletting the pass, and Saunders was already way to the rim, and a nice finish from him.
And Naaman right back on the other end, attacking the basket aggressively. And if Cheshire are going to win this game tonight, we got to have two big performances out of Naaman Wright and Teddy O.
Well, that is the Second personal foul on Anderson as he, I mean, it's the pace of it. On a made score, they are so quick down the court. And Anderson obviously is, you know, one of the best defensive players. He's so versatile defensively. They'll be glad to get him off the court.
For sure, and along with that as well, Jamal Anderson, I've played with him for many years. He has one of those motors too, where a game like this actually suits him because his cardiovascular, his lungs are so good. He has the ability, so it's a good sign for the Phoenix camp, I think, for them leave it for Anderson, excuse me, to leave the game.
All right, puts the Phoenix in front by a point. Bit of full court pressure here from Cheshire. Maybe just trying to slow them a little bit. Artisan dumps it down. Lewis underneath, too strong.
That's what you want there. You want your 4 and 5 high-low. It's a perfectly timed play that just wasn't executed for the finish.
Bradley with the quick pull-up.
Bradley's got to try and find his way in an identity on offense here. There's a couple three-point shots he settled for and hasn't quite been able to hit just yet.
Armstrong looking for room along the baseline. Back to Whelan. He strings the three.
Wow. Whelan had a lot of time to think about that when he put a little half fake in first to get the defense to honor him, but Bradley wasn't up on enough and knocks it down.
Right, going the opposite way to the screen, driving hard, and foul is called on Lewis. I think the initial contact was okay, but I think his arms might have come down here. Let's see on the replay. Well, they're not quite straight up, are they?
No, it's a good call from the referee and an even better take from Naaman Wright. I like what Naaman Wright's doing. He's very efficient. He's perfect from the floor at the moment, but he hasn't forced his shot, and what he's looking to do is attack the rim and be aggressive.
And he's a prototypical 2-guard. If you're on 2K creating a my player, you draw him up like him. He's 6'5", he's strong, can drive, can shoot, can do it all.
He's shooting 43% for the three-point line as well, so it's another phenomenal attribute you'd want in your shooting guard.
I don't know about the beer, but everything else, I'm definitely...
James Harden does all right with a beard.
Wright makes the front end of 2 free throws, looking to level the game up at 18. Again, Cheshire with this little zone full court press. There's Armstrong. Out into the corner is Whelan. Oh, Artisan was there for the rebound, but he couldn't quite finish the play the way he wanted, and the held ball on the possession arrow goes back to Cheshire.
And that's great basketball from Giants there. Good rotation in the board. It's a good shot. Artisan was just unfortunate with the offensive rebound there. But look, Cheshire Phoenix were there. You know, if this was last week, that's a rebound and a putback dunk.
Exactly.
Okarafor around the screen from Dickerson. Cross court to Carey. He looks to attack, and his shot is blocked by Artisan. Saved by Whelan. Good hustle. Quick forward to Lewis. And he just gets himself in an awkward spot and ends up turning it over.
That's really difficult. And Francois Lewis is someone who's had a couple good early opportunities here, and looks to me a player that he hasn't, not quite comfortable. Maybe his minutes have been reduced, and with that comes lack of confidence. But he's a player that has to, when you come off the bench, you have to be mentally ready and ready to impact the game immediately.
Oh, right. Did he step on the line? Yes, he did, but his shoe had come off, which didn't help.
I mentioned it before that this is a must-win for both of these games. Manchester can't afford to lose 3 games, and Cheshire can't afford to lose 4 before December. So you see the effort that both teams are displaying tonight. We got a great game on our hands.
All right, shoe had come off, so he's tying them back up.
The equivalent of a flat tire in Formula 1, ladies and gentlemen, but you've got to do it yourself. You've got no team there to put you back on court.
Armstrong needs to come into the front court because it was a back-court violation, so it needs to go forward from there. Here's Armstrong, wrap around. Ball is loose, and that will do it for a frantic first quarter here in the Northwest Derby. It is the Manchester Giants 18, the Cheshire Phoenix 18, and we all need to take a breather. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Manchester, where we are level at 18 here as the Giants take on the Cheshire Phoenix. It will be a Manchester ball from mid-court to start us here in the second quarter. Poked away by Carey. Giants still have it. Lewis takes the shot top of the key. Good rebound by Artisan, and this time he's able to put it in.
Yeah, good work there from Artisan. He's big enough and crafty enough around the rim to finish that with that left hand of his. Nice play.
Carey trying to hand it off, but it's stolen away by Armstrong. Running hard to the hole for two.
Armstrong incredibly active. That's his third or fourth anticipated steal there, and he's one of the quickest guards you'll see in the league, and he was out to the races.
Montfort. Look at Rapport. Cross court to Montfort. Goes past Saunders, but turns the ball over. Saunders, a lot of room for Artisan underneath, and he makes it a simple finish.
Well, it's as easy as they come there. Nice post-entry pass there, and Artisan does the rest.
And this big lineup for the Giants is causing Cheshire a lot of problems in the second quarter.
Giants with the first 6 points of it. Carey trying to break that and doing so.
Great move there. He kind of lulled the defender to sleep and thinking he was going to hand it off, but he found a gap and got all the way to the rim yet again.
There's Armstrong. To a little runner off the glass. It was almost like they gave him that.
Well, when you're 5'10", you've got to figure out ways to screw over the bigger defenders, and Armstrong does it just there, high off the glass, and Noah Dickerson wasn't even close.
And Armstrong knocking it loose again. That time it came off Oki Rapport out of bounds for a Manchester ball.
They just turnovers racking up now for this Phoenix team. That'll be turnover number 8, and as you say, it's really difficult to win ball games when you're losing possession at that rate.
And speaking of Armstrong, I really like his game. He's a very efficient player. We were talking on it over Twitter this week. He's one of 2 players shooting 40, 50, 90 splits. So a real big asset for the Manchester Giants.
Well, and he's shown defensively how crafty he can be. He can get into the passing lanes. We've seen him knock the ball away from the ball handler a couple of times as well.
He's had a huge impact on this game, and then you see Carl Carey, nice little change of direction, change of pace, and gets all the way to the rim.
Well, this should be a matchup that Cheshire should be exploiting. Got the big fella guarding Kyle Carey. He should get him out into space, get him moving his feet laterally, see what he can do.
Well, that's always the interesting paradox, really. You were talking about the bigger lineup and what that can do for Manchester, but obviously defensively they're always guarding somebody smaller who's usually quicker laterally.
And I don't think that Cheshire Phoenix have realized the matchups they have. So hopefully Ben talked it over the timeout.
Well, he's changed his lineup now, so they're probably a bit more evenly matched in terms of size at the minute. Here's McKnight. Lewis, top of the key, back iron. Steele chases down the offensive rebound. Armstrong round the screen. Broken up by Okirafor. They still have it, the Giants, but they only have a few seconds to shoot here. Hodgson trying to create some room, and that will be a shot clock violation. Didn't hit the rim.
A bit of a combination there. Not great offense. It was very chippy-choppy. A couple turnovers also occurred in that one possession. But good energy again from the Phoenix. I like the energy and the intent. This is night and day to 7 days ago when they played the London Lions.
I totally agree. We were really disappointed with the way they came out against the London Lions tonight. A lot more energy. The intent is better to come out fighting tonight.
10 clock going to return to the game. Oh, running hook there from Bradley. McKnight. Oh, nice move all the way to the hole, and he's fouled by Ocharobia.
It's a great move, isn't it? He got all the way to the rim and wasn't fazed by big Mike Ocharobia challenging the shot. Tough one, Mike's went straight up. There's a lot of body contact there, isn't there? I think the referee had no choice but to call that one, even though a tad bit late.
Big man union there. Come on, Drew. That's a definite foul, isn't it? That's you going to the basket there.
That is a foul, but it's tough. You got McKnight, who's one of the silkiest players in the league, can score at all levels, looking to make 2 from the line.
Manchester stretching their advantage here. Cheshire just 2 points in this opening 3 minutes, and another turnover, and Armstrong stretches it to 12-2 start by the Manchester Giants. They lead by 10.
That cannot happen. Right there underneath the rim, and that's 9 turnovers now for the Cheshire Phoenix. The Giants are punishing them.
And with the loss of Akoto, there's no secondary ball handler for the Cheshire Phoenix, so if it's not in Teddy's hands.
Ocharobia way off the mark. Needs a wobbling here.
Yeah, Phoenix look a little bit panicked, don't they, offensively? They're looking a little bit more desperate and urgent around the rim, and this is where they've got to settle their nerves here and keep composed and get defensive stops.
Armstrong just got caught across the head by Bradley there.
As you see Coach Thomas get Neymar right back in the game. This might be a game that Neymar has to play 37, 38 minutes.
Oof. Wow. That was worse from that angle than it looked from ours. I think he's lost his contacts as well, so I think Coach Gardner's called a timeout here to help his point guard get his contacts back in, because the way the game's going, the momentum of the game right now, they're looking pretty good, Manchester Giants.
Well, that was a caption right there. I could say, this is what you get for stealing the ball off my team 4 times. That was incredible. Slap across the face. But well, what a start Armstrong's had. He's been incredible. So, the Giants would want him to resume his contact lens and carry on doing what he's doing, because he's been a catalyst for this 10-point lead at the moment. As you see, this full court pressure there, just a little bit too much for Curry to get the ball through, and Tyreek Armstrong, 5'10", hangs in the air and finishes the play.
Might be a football violation, that, by the way, because he's gained an advantage. It's not a deliberate kick, but he's gained an advantage by kicking the ball. He might have got a slightly fortunate bounce there, or miss from the officials. But the way Manchester are playing, they're going to get the bounces to the ball almost. When you get that momentum, everything seems to go your way.
Yeah, and Armstrong is the main reason why Manchester Giants on this run, because he's turned up the heat defensively.
Well, here's Steele. Clark with the handoff. Steele driving hard to the hole. Nice finish. That is not easy.
That is not easy at all, and he's no fearless mentality, and another turnover.
You could see McSwiggan didn't want to inbound the ball, but there was no other option. I mean, you can run the baseline to give yourself a better angle. Perhaps that would have been the option.
And this is what the Giants have up their sleeve. Because they have such a deep team, they can afford to go a high-pressure, full-court defense, just because they've got the bodies there to rotate. We've seen the Leicester Riders do this over a number of years. Yes, you have to execute it correctly and apply the correct structure, but the Giants could be devastating in this.
Austin for 3, and the lead is ballooning out here at the National Performance Centre. It's out to 15.
As you can see, the Cheshire Phoenix is just such hard work for them to even inbound the ball here, and there's a good 8 seconds off the shot clock already, and disrupting this offense.
And it's a lot of responsibility on Teddy O's shoulder just to get the ball up the court, run the offense, and then come back and guard.
Well, you saw on that turnover by McSwiggan, it was because Okoroafor was so well guarded. Well, they've got to find some way of righting the ship here, Cheshire Phoenix. Otherwise, this one could get away from them before halftime. Great block from Dan Clark.
This is where individuals are trying to change the game themselves, and they've got to put trust in each other and move the basketball, make Giants work, because the Giants are not having to play defense.
Oh, they're not playing any defense here. Steele was all on his own in the paint.
Wow, just an absolute breakdown, miscommunication breakdown defensively, and Josh Steele had all the time in the world under the basket to finish the layup. You see it on the other end, nothing easy for the Cheshire Phoenix, and 6'10", 6'11", Dan Clark gets an easy block there, and his team are firing on the other end of the floor.
Drew, let's put you in the Cheshire huddle right now. I mean, what do they have to do to change they've just got to try and change the momentum. They've got 2 points in this quarter, which is worrying in 5 minutes. They've given up 19 in 5 minutes. That's almost more worrying, isn't it?
Well, one thing we always talk about is weathering the storm. Bend but don't break. And right now, the Cheshire Phoenix are showing that they can't handle the adversity that's coming at them. They're on the road. It's a hostile crowd. They just have to settle down and say, guys, let's go again. Let's get a stop, and let's build on top of it.
Well, they have to find some way. And partly the two are interrelated, isn't it? They've got 2 points because they're turning the ball over. Manchester have 19 points in this quarter because they're turning it over and getting easy buckets.
I was just going to say that, Dan. It's contagious. It's strongly correlated. You have breakdowns defensively, and then offensively that eats into the game, because you get guys like Naaman Wright who are trying to get his team back in the game. But while he's doing that, it's a one pass or one dribble shot. They're not playing collectively together on offense, and they're not playing collectively together on defense. They have to find a way here now to synchronize at both ends of the floor.
Wow. He's just throwing the ball out of bounds. And Carey gets the hook for that. Just threw it the wrong way. And it's funny because there wasn't that much pressure there. It was a little zone thing just to slow you down. But the psychology of the last few minutes.
The pressure of the game is there, Dan, and he knows that. Oh, goodness, almost a turnover there. And Graham comes up with it.
Nice work from Robbie Graham. Oh, thrown straight to the coach this time. The heads are gone. They're not with it at the minute, Cheshire.
I can't believe the way they're just throwing the ball around the gym. This is so uncharacteristic of a team at this level, and goodness me, the Giants will absolutely thrive off of this.
And 12 turnovers, and a lot of them are unforced. And then on the other end, you're giving wide open layups.
Oh, this is quite incredible right now. Giants by 19, but Cheshire pressing the self-destruct button a little bit. Bradley for the turnaround, and too much needed points.
Huge, and that was a tough shot. It required Levi Bradley's individual talent there to get some points on the board, but hey, that's what you need in this situation. You need guys to step up and make plays.
Well, Manchester getting whatever they want, wherever they want, whenever they want.
Opening up the floodgates.
Graffle. Bakali got a size mismatch. Hudson with the foul. I mean, you both played the game for a long time. You've been in this position. The important thing here is you go, right, there's 3 or 4 minutes to go to half-time. Find some way of winning these 3 or 4 minutes, reassess and see where we are at half-time, and then maybe the momentum shifts back to you in the second half.
Yeah, we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. It's about closing quarters. So if Cheshire can go on a 6-point advantage, 7-point advantage, you want to chip away. You can't get it all in one possession at a time. Chip away, see where it gets you.
Okarafor late in the shot clock had to take the long 3.
It's a bad shot as well, Dan, not to the fault of Okarafor, but the offense, nothing happened.
No.
The ball was stuck at the top there, and he's having to make a very difficult play there, a long way from the basket, contested shot.
Clark for 3. Oh, it gets even worse for Cheshire.
Well, it does when you're conceding baskets from a scout report that you should know inside, outside, having played this team 4 times.
But it was those 2 shots early that gave Dan Clark the confidence.
Yeah, it's funny. They don't always need to go in. If you give a guy, well, Clark's come up hobbling out of all of that. Well, there are subs coming in. They were there before that. We'll see whether it is for Clark. Bradley almost gets a steal. Artisan along the baseline foul is called out 1.
Huge mismatch down low, and Gino Artisan takes full advantage of that, and Teddy Okarafor just tries to reach around and to get the steal, but what he does is get the referee to blow that whistle on a potential 3-point play here for Artisan.
This is where we think Clark hurt himself. Oh, there, just a little tweak of the ankle. It's a painful one.
Yeah, it is, and Dan Clark's had a couple injuries already this year, and that's the type of one where it's sore, that hurts.
Well, he's not only gone off, but he's gone around the back to try and walk it off almost. Sometimes with those tweaks, you want to keep moving. And you keep an eye on that one. Bradley down to Dickerson under all sorts of pressure. What a finish.
A really tough finish there, and that's a good sign. Dickerson's someone who's been plagued with injuries and illness, and this is his first reintroduction into this team, and big play there from him.
Hudson going the long way around, hits the side of the board. Ball on the floor, and that will be a held ball, and the possession arrow gives it back to Cheshire.
Well, it sounds a bit silly me saying this because they're down 22, but this Cheshire Phoenix team has improved from last week. That play last week is a London Lions recovery, and they lay the ball up under the basket, but Phoenix putting their bodies on the line, and their attitude towards the 50-50 balls is so much more positive than it was 7 days ago.
And I wonder how much fatigue is a factor in this second quarter. You talked about the pace in the first quarter. And Cheshire, we know that they lack bench depth. In Manchester, it seems like every time I look to my left, they got
You've got another guy coming.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Clark on the exercise bike at the end of the bench. That's probably a good sign, I should imagine. Well, not for Cheshire fans, but for Manchester fans.
And we know about his IQ, we know about his talent, but that was my one question about Dan Clark coming to this league in particular. With the pace, how would his body hold up over the course of the season?
Well, Teddy Okorafor off the floor at the moment, so this is a period of time where the Cheshire Phoenix have to look after the ball even more so.
And they don't. It's stolen away. Armstrong in transition. Is that unsportsmanlike? It's close to the line. What's the referee going to decide? It is a holding foul.
Tyreek Armstrong again at the center of everything that's been good for this Giants team, and this is a period of the game now. If I'm coach Lloyd Gardner, I am 100% putting on pressure here. Teddy Okorafor on the bench, ball handlers in rare, I guess, availability on this Cheshire Phoenix team right now.
And I talked about his 50, 40, 90 split. Didn't even touch about how amazing he is on defense, as right now he's sitting on 6 steals in the second quarter.
Well, that 90 taking a hit. Makes the second. Mockford. Dickerson out to right in the corner. Knocks down the 3.
Nice play there. Good patience from Dickerson in the middle there. Nice swing of the basketball, and name on right, we know what he can do from out there.
It's not easy when that pass is a bit low and you've got to reset everything. Armstrong loses the handle. Saunders forces the turnover though. Hodgson for 3. Oh, and he drops in a friendly bounce. For 3 more points for the Manchester Giants.
Just like that.
Right trying to reply.
How on earth, if you're Phoenix, you're watching this, a 3-on-1 transition offense turns into a turnover, and then a 3 down the other end of the floor. It's just remarkable how the swings in this game, and Phoenix just not able to come up with anything good.
Lewis out to Saunders, wide open for 3, and he will knock that down all night.
Well, indeed, Saunders, someone who is do not leave open from beyond the 3-point line, and he has all the time in the world to shoot that ball and extends this lead.
Well, you could see behind, the whole bench was up before the ball had even got to him. They knew he was making that shot. Well, 17 seconds remaining in a first half. That couldn't have gone any better for the Manchester Giants. Mockford for 3. Mockford at the top, sorry. McSwiggan driving along the baseline, gets the roll. And they took almost all the time off, but Coach Lloyd Gardner had requested a timeout. And I think he was hoping for a little bit more than 0.6 seconds to work with.
Cheshire actually finished that half very intelligently on offense, and Josh McSwiggan gets something to go all the way to the rim, reverses all the way around, and look, a 24-point game. It's still a huge mountain to climb, but as you say, Dan, you've got to look at it in compartments and look to close the next 5 minutes, and at the moment, I think they'll be wanting to get to this locker room here. One defensive possession, half a second left, and get to the locker room.
But that graphic, 35 points against in a quarter, is just way too many.
Oh, along with the 14 turnovers in one half, down, which is way too many. Teams consistently go a whole game without having 14 turnovers, just to provide it context there. So it's been a a dreadful, I think is an appropriate word, a dreadful offensive half for the Cheshire Phoenix. But at the same time, Dan, when you say they've conceded 53 points, it's a dreadful performance on the other end of the floor also.
Well, the stats are still early, but Cheshire averaged 14 turnovers in a game.
There's 20 minutes left to play.
Yeah. Right, it's going to be a long throw and hope somebody catches and heaves. And, well, that wasn't quite what he drew up on the playboard, but, well, we'll forgive them the last 0.6 seconds because that 20 minutes was as good a 20 minutes for the Manchester Giants as you could expect.
They were really good, Dan, and they've shared the basketball as well. But what I really like about this Manchester Giants team, it's the energy. That energy that was thrust into the game by a Tyreek Armstrong. 7 steals for him, 9 points, and it's just been infectious. The rest of the team have come along the way. 12 points again for Artisan at halftime also.
Well, a lot of work to do for the Cheshire Phoenix as they head off to the locker room. Let's get some halftime reaction. Go over to Nat.
Well, we talked about Manchester wanting to lay down a marker this evening as title contenders. They've absolutely done that in the first half. 53 points, including that extraordinary second quarter. 35 points for the Giants offense. And Dan Clark, the Team GB captain, our first look at him on Sky Sports this season. A big half for him, and he's courtside now with Drew.
Dan, you left the country when you were 17. How does it feel to play back in your country?
Yeah, I mean, so far I'm loving it. The Giants is up and coming, great situation. The team's great so far, and we're enjoying basketball, as you can see in this first half.
And a 24-point lead in the halftime. What was different in that second quarter?
I think we started very slow, a bit lethargic. We couldn't really get into the rhythm of our game. But then in the second quarter, especially from the defensive end, we were able to get out and run a bit, and that's when we're really at our best, I think. When Tyreek and Martavis and Josh and Jamel are getting that running, that's when we're at our best.
And talk about Tyreek Armstrong's impact on his game as he sits on 8 steals in just a half of basketball.
I mean, we talked to, Tyreek's a rookie in this league, we've talked to him about it, and he's got to get into people. That's his job. He's got to set out tone defensively, he's got to get into people, and he's got a tough matchup tonight against Teddy. And I think he's doing a great job. He's small, but, there's not many guys quicker than him in this league, so he's using that to the best of his advantage.
Thanks for your time, Dan.
Thanks a lot, guys.
It's great to see him back in action on our courts, and he will be delighted with the team's first half performance. We'll analyse it next. Welcome back to Manchester, where the Giants take a 53-29 lead in at the half. Not that you would have thought it after the first quarter, which was incredibly even. Yet the Phoenix defense capitulating in the second quarter, the Giants humming, everything going right for Manchester, everything going wrong for Cheshire. And you can see why there. Look at the bottom of your screen, right-hand side, 14 turnovers for the Cheshire Phoenix. A massive problem for them last week against the Lions, and a huge problem once again this week against the Giants. 53% shooting for the Giants collectively, particularly strong from the two-point range. And Kieran Achara bench scoring proving to be a significant difference once again.
Yeah, we said that Lloyd Gardner knows how to rotate his players, gives them proper minutes, but the bench is stepping up and scoring when needed. Artisan stepped up big time, Whelan brought some energy off the bench too, and rightfully so, Cheshire didn't respond the same way.
It was a breathless start, a breathless first quarter. As I said just then, very even, Drew, but then it all changed in the second quarter. What changed specifically? How did Manchester get control of the game?
I mean, defensively, we talked on that about the top of how important it was for both teams to set the tone. Manchester turned it up a notch, and Cheshire was unable to handle the heat, lacking that secondary ball handler. A lot of unforced turnovers out there tonight.
Yeah,
deep trouble.
Unforced errors indeed. Tyreek Armstrong, one of a number of Manchester players that has had a storming first half. Right in the thick of it, as Jamie Edwards, the Giants owner, suggested he would be. We talked about at the top, 7 steals in the first half alone, Kieran.
Yeah, we talk about him being a small player. That gives him an advantage, that low centre of gravity. Picking the pocket, 7 steals in the first half. Unbelievable.
His speed is something to behold. But you love his toughness as well, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a perfect example of not letting your size be an excuse. He's been at height his whole life, saying that he was never going to make it. He's out there proving it tonight. One of the most impactful players out there on the floor.
Really was, bringing the hustle and the energy you were talking about then, Combs, what you're running through the team. You chatted to Dan Clark at halftime. Big first half for him as well. And the question remains, Kieran, how do you defend him?
Definitely not this way. Definitely not this way. Dropping off, big man dropping off, leaving Dan wide open. You know, Dan had missed a couple before that, but that was like a layup to him. And this one, they went with a smaller lineup. Quick release for a big guy. You know, another 3-point. Unfortunately, this we see here, Dan, ankle injury. I've seen a lot of ankle injuries for Dan in his career. I'm hoping he's going to be okay.
Yeah, we all do. Let's take a look at the positives for Cheshire then, because we've got to try and fuel their confidence to get back in this. And if they are going to get back in it, Namon Wright is going to be front and centre. The fight he has, the drive he has, Drew, he just makes things happen, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a dynamic guard, especially when he gets downhill. We just need to see more of that aggression like we talked about, and I like what I've seen on him defensively. Cheshire have gotten a couple of steals, but they need a lot more.
Yeah, you talked about that at the top. Have you seen enough from him defensively week on week, or is still room for improvement there?
I mean, when you're down by 20, I don't think you can say it's enough from anybody on the team.
Yeah, fair play. Teddy O, another key player for them if they're going to get back into this. And it's certainly in the first quarter, Kieran, the steals, the fast break offense was working well, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, he's playing solid defense, getting out in the break, getting some easy layups, you know. That's great for your confidence. Another player that can get to the free throw line, a lot like Wright, get to the free throw line, make some easy points, but second quarter, everything was lost.
Deja vu again, because I asked you this exact question, I'm pretty sure anyway, this time last week against the Lions. How did Cheshire get back into this?
Oh, again, from a positive perspective, the first half is over. It's done with. But they have to dig down deep on their defence, because right now when your points are not scoring, it's those second chance points, the points off turnovers make all the difference.
We're going to find out a lot about this Cheshire Phoenix side in the next 2 quarters. Before we get into that, let's check in with our favourite plays from the BBL over the last 7 days.
Attacking the basket hard for the and one.
Benson. And Reece says, thank you very much.
Big part of the game is now. Oh, nice pass, Jamal. Oh, nice. Slammed home by Dan Clark. Nice pass.
Back to Williams, who just keeps it in play. He's going to back down, spins into a double team, and Kelly with the flush. Wow.
Now, if Kyler Kelly doesn't win the Kieran Achara disgusting player that we're seeing as he had 2 in there, then something's going wrong.
No, definitely. Kyler Kelly getting in his bag, showing his range. That was the most disgusting play I've seen from him this season. So, yeah, high dunker, but getting it done with a 3-point shot, that's the way forward.
Congratulations, Kyler Kelly, the recipient of a Kieran Achara disgusting award. I'm sure you're proud about that. What about you, Drew? Favourite player of the week?
I got to go with my former teammate, Rodney Glasgow. Just stepped in last week off the plane, hits the game winner. Got to go with my boy.
Keep it along. That's what I like about you, Drew Lasco. Right then, second half about to get underway here in Manchester. A packed house, and the Giants fans are absolutely loving what they're seeing from their team so far. Anyway, back for the Phoenix. We'll find out soon. It's a 24-point lead at the half for the Giants. Can they close this one down? Let's find out as we head back to Ant and Dan.
Well, yeah, thanks. Now, that's probably the question, Ant. The Manchester Giants, they can't come out complacent here. They've got to keep going. In some ways, does that help the fact they're playing their arch rivals from down the road? They'll want to run the score up, surely.
I think so. I think there's no mercy in a derby. But what the Cheshire Phoenix have to do, this is absolutely very important first 5 minutes. They have to impact the game here on both ends of the floor and restore some dominance here.
Well, it is Manchester who get the opening possession of the quarter and almost stolen away by Dickerson, but Manchester keeps possession. McKnight short on the mid-range.
Again, a nice start to the half. They've got a stop. Again, as soon as they get a couple strings, if they can string a couple offenses together, the confidence will grow.
Well, there you go. That's exactly the start they needed.
That will help a lot. Neymar Wright, that takes him to 12 points personal, and he is their leading scorer, so they're going to look to go to him, I'm sure, a lot in this half.
Armstrong getting all the way to the basket and finishing for 2.
Tyreek Armstrong, someone who has took this game by the scruff of the neck, continues his good form.
Neymar Wright going right back out here.
Quick, early 5 points for Neymar Wright, and again, this is going to do the world of good for this Phoenix offense, who struggled dearly in that second quarter.
McKnight lobbed into Clark. Okarafor on the roll, commits a foul against his GB teammate.
Yeah, and that's okay. I think that's a good foul. You don't want anything easy inside, and what the Cheshire Phoenix can't afford to do is trade baskets with this Manchester Giants team, and Teddy Okarafor does a good job of getting across there and slapped down, deemed a foul by the referee.
Into Steele, trying to create space. Good use of the body from Josh Steele.
And that's what's too easy. The passing entry there from the baseline is too easy, and also Dickerson, the bigger, stronger defender, he has to make it harder for Steele to score the ball in there.
Poked away from Mockford, kept in bounds by the Giants. Armstrong looking to push. Armstrong with the alley-oop! Thrown down by Jamel Anderson.
How many good things has this Giants team done off a Cheshire Phoenix turnover, and there's another one coming down the other end and dunking the ball.
Neymar Wright again quickly to the basket.
Oh, Neymar Wright going about his business, isn't he? 7 points for him already in this second half, and he's just been going to work.
16 in total. Here's Clark, and he jams it home.
Wow, this is what you can't afford to do. Manchester Giants dunking all over this Cheshire Phoenix defense. Have to be able to show some sort of resistance internally there to make it more difficult for this Giants team.
And Drew Lasker has rejoined us in the commentary. Drew, you were talking about Armstrong and his 7 steals in that first half. That's actually a Manchester Giants club record since they came back into the league in 2012. The previous best was 6 by Jarrell Okoro. But what I will say is, one of you two guys had 8 in a game. Do either of you remember which one of you had 8 in a game?
Well, I mean, that's easy. Come on now. I got to go with me.
It was you. Do you remember who against and when it was?
No idea.
It was against Sheffield back in 2009, January 2009. And actually, a couple of days later, somebody beat that. It's the most in the last 13 years, had 10 steals in a game. They're still involved in the league, and I'll give you about 100 guesses. I'm guessing neither of you will guess who. 10 steals in a game. Only time in the last 13 years that somebody's gone into double figures in steals in a game. They're still involved in the league. 2009. No.
Are they playing tonight?
They're not playing tonight, no.
That's a good one. Let me stew on that for a little bit.
I was thinking Callum Jones, but
nope. McKnight at the free throw line while they ponder that. Rattles in the first.
I'm going to have to throw in the towel on this one, Drew.
No, it's not like that many guys are still around from 09 besides Tuck, Defoe.
Well, the person who did it was here last week. As McKnight makes both of them. Here's Carcari driving hard to the hole. Off the mark. Armstrong looking to attack quickly. Beautiful move.
That's so tough. Tyreek Armstrong, a prime example of size does not matter. 5'10" going amongst the defenders and finishing above the rim.
Neymar Wright, step back for 3. Gets the friendly bounce.
Goodness me, Neymar Wright is heating up. Takes him to 21 points personal.
Clark feeds it back to Armstrong. Kicked out, Steele in the corner. He strings a triple.
Wow, what a rains it pours in this Giants offense is on full flow right now.
And again, that pass coming from Armstrong. The guy can do it all.
Stolen away again by the Giants. And look at Clark out in front with the jab.
Goodness me, this Giants team is so ruthless. As soon as they regain possession, they're out to the races, and Dan Clark this time finished from the dunk.
And Cheshire just with no answers.
Right, Carey in the corner, misses. Armstrong, dropping it off, and Knight with the lay-in, and well, it looked like it might have started better for the Cheshire Phoenix, but that didn't last very long. Armstrong pulling the strings, and Manchester pulling away.
Again, defensive breakdown there for the Cheshire Phoenix. No need to reach in there, because as soon as you reach in and don't get it, you're at a disadvantage. It's pretty much a 5-on-4, and it's easy for a guy like Tariq Armstrong. As soon as he gets in the key, he's going to make the right play.
Come on then, fellas. You still haven't got who got 10 steals in a game in 2009. Only person in the last 13 years, 10 steals. He was in this building last week.
In this building?
In this building last week.
You got me, and I'm really annoyed.
Atiba Lyons. Atiba has 10
he's still active. Yeah, okay.
I don't feel bad about not getting that right.
I didn't think you would. But triple-double with steals, amazing, really. And playing from the position that Atiba played as well. Incredible job. And Armstrong has now got up to 8. He's got 5 assists. He's got 4 rebounds. You know, he could be closing in on a triple-double. We saw one last week. We might see another one this week. And, you know, going back to this, they're just whatever they want out in the break. You've got your big centre, your veteran, your OG running the floor out in front.
This Manchester Giants offense has a little bit of everything right now, and it's certainly showing. Up by 31 points.
Here's Mockford for 3. Knocks it down.
Wow, that's what they need. Ben Mockford is a guy that, as we know, can get hot quickly and shoot the lights out. They have to find him in those situations where he's open.
And sometimes as a shooter, you just need to see one go in.
Certainly Mockford. First one goes in, you know, another one's coming soon. Great hands to rip that one away from Lewis.
That was phenomenal time in there. And
Chirobia pins it to the glass.
And that's what we haven't seen enough of, that interior presence for this Phoenix team. And Naaman Wright, absolutely unconscious. 24 points for him personal, and he's just been straight business in the second half.
Well, he's 4 of 5 from inside the arc and 4 of 5 from behind it.
And we talked about it on the top. If anybody was capable of scoring 30, it was Naaman Wright.
There we go. Time and time again, we're just seeing defensive breakdown. Josh Steele, look how much space he has there in the picture. I can only see one other Cheshire Phoenix defender, and it just goes down to understanding and knowing your defensive assignment.
Another turnover. Chirobia bobbles it out of bounds. Wright, by the way, has more than half his team's points. He's got more than everybody else combined.
Well, I'd like to think, no, I wouldn't like to think what type of hurt this Cheshire Phoenix team would be in if it wasn't for his offensive input in this second half.
Yeah, he's been like we wanted him to play all game, just being aggressive, which is something that he didn't do last week, so it's great to see him playing out of his body.
Well, we talked about the 35 they gave up in the second quarter. They've given up 22 already. There's still 4 minutes to go here. Manchester's offense absolutely purring. Stolen away by Chirobia. Has Wright with him and doesn't find him. Oh, wait, Wright somehow managed to just about keep that alive, but it is a turnover in the end.
This is exactly why we don't let the big fella run the break. So if I'm on a 2-on-1 with Ant, I'm saying, give me the ball.
The big guy got the steal too. He deserves it.
Give it up.
Let him live.
Give it up.
Nice pass and steal to Lewis.
Well, again, penetration there. Steal this time. Handing the ball to Francois Lewis for the easy finish.
Here's Mockford. Bradley at the elbow. Back iron.
And even someone like Mike Archerobia hasn't been able to insert himself on the offensive glass. You know, can't remember too many offensive rebounds being snagged and second chance opportunities.
None. They've got no offensive rebounds in the game.
Wow. That's an issue as well, just because you can get offensive rebounds just through energy alone. And
there's another steal. And here's Lewis. He blows the dunk. But Anderson shows him how to do it.
Well, and that's a really, really negative sign there. There's a missed dunk for the Giants, and not one Cheshire Phoenix is in screen there to recover the ball. It's a Jamal Anderson gets an easy putback and not a Phoenix in sight until the ball's already through the hoop.
Well, that is steal number 10 for Tariq Armstrong. So he has a double-double. He would need either 5 assists or 6 rebounds. But a double-double on steals doesn't happen too often. As I say, there's only one person in the last 13 years got 10. That was Atiba Lyons. An incredible defensive end effort for Tariq Armstrong.
And he just changed the game in that second quarter. He turned up the defensive intensity, the on-ball, getting steals, and that's why Manchester Giants sit with a comfortable lead. But if we look at this Phoenix roster, we talked on the top about how this is the first time they played these guys at full strength. But in reality, they're missing one import. How important is it to fill that next spot? I think they need to probably address that ASAP.
Well, that is the question. They could go with one more. They have the space in terms of registrations to do that. But obviously, budget and finances have a part to play in that as well. Here's Mockford. Mockford, that's a difficult shot, and he actually got caught on it.
Well, that's what Manchester Giants don't want to do. I mean, for them, just stand tall, make them make plays, because, you know, other than Naaman Wright, no one's really in any full offensive flow for this Cheshire Phoenix team. So I would make them make plays and not foul of Ben Mockford on the three-point line.
Well, Wright has 24. The next highest is Okirafor on 7. And as I say, if first free throw goes in, that means the rest of the Cheshire Phoenix have the same combined as Wright does.
And those were early 7 points from Okirafor as well. If you remember, they were first quarter, and you've had contributions, you know, bitty contributions here and there. Josh McSwiggan's been an absent, really. He's got 2 points, and you just need to find something else or some other player where they can get an offensive stream from. And they haven't even been able to get high percentage shots around the rim from Mike Archerobia because there's been no offensive rebounds. So they have to figure out a way to make players better within what they're comfortable in doing.
Whelan for 3. Carey will chase it to the corner.
But you mentioned that, Ann, but that's why it's important to have leadership, because we've watched this Cheshire Phoenix team for 2 weeks. I've yet to see who's the guy that gets into guys, yelling at guys, pulling their jerseys and say, hey, well, come on, this is unacceptable. We haven't seen it from the Cheshire Phoenix.
Hudson. Spin, traveling violation called. So to pick you up on that, Drew, does it have to be a player? Is that a thing where you'd say it's a player's thing? Because obviously the coach will be saying some stuff, but does that come from the playing unit?
Absolutely. You got to have that guy on the team that's willing to get into guys. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be your best player.
No, agreed. You know, you have to have players on court that you can look to in times of adversity, because this is what this Cheshire Phoenix team are not very good at. It's clear they're not good at adversity, because we've seen it now a number of times week after week where they're just folding under the pressure and when during bad periods of games.
There's Lewis. He just sort of lost the ball. I think McCarley might have got a piece of that. Okirafor chasing it back, dumps it off to Carey for 2.
Good execution there on that transition, and Francois Lewis just having one of those days. You know, you feel for him in a way. You can see he's low on confidence. Turns the ball over there, and Cheshire Phoenix were able to profit from it.
Carey trying to get another steal. He does, and that's going to be an unsportsmanlike foul. Arterton arguing the case, but that is in the rules. If you make a grab on a player from the side or behind, as in that case, stopping a fast break, it's an unsportsmanlike foul.
And right now, I'm glued into the body language. Who's giving up? Who's continuing to play hard? I remember I was a rookie. T.J. Walker came to me at the free throw line when he was from Newcastle. I was at Plymouth. We were down by 25. And he said to me, I like your game, young fella. Always play hard because you never know who's watching. 8 years down the line, Newcastle Eagles signed me, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Here's the thing, you go back to the summer, and these two teams probably won the off-season in many ways. These were the two teams that everybody looked at and went, wow, look at that. More so than like London last summer was the team everybody talked about. London kind of made some great signings, but not quite as splashy as it was last year. We were all looking at a Teddy coming up here to Cheshire, and obviously Dan Clark coming to Manchester. And for Manchester, we've seen bits of it on the court. We've seen it tonight. But for Cheshire, not so much.
Yeah, and that's why we always say that that's the beauty in sports, right? Is that paper means nothing. You still got to go out there. You got to do it. You got to perform.
Whelan trying to force his way through. Stolen away. Carey out in front. And they won't catch him.
They will not. The open floor. Cole Carey is out to the races. And I really like his attitude. He's been a guy that's, look, we're down by 30. I'm going to try and make something happen.
Well, he's trying a bit too hard to make something happen there, but it's only the second on him. It's only the third on the team, so it's not a terrible foul in that situation with 2.8 seconds to go.
And I agree with that, but you got to know the difference, because there's some guys that get in a situation that are like, okay, let me just get my stats. So you have to determine is it that guy that's getting the trash stats, or if they just continue to play hard and give 100% effort.
Well, I like his energy on both ends of the floor. He's been a guy who's had a couple of steals here, and I like that. You know, I'd rather have a guy that's applying it for whatever motive he's got. I'd rather have a guy that's trying to do something instead of just lay down and die.
Well, the Manchester Giants continue to dominate here in Manchester. They lead the Cheshire Phoenix 81 points to 58. We will have the fourth quarter when we return. Welcome back to Manchester. where the Giants still have a comfortable lead. Cheshire did, in the end, win that last quarter 29-28. It didn't feel like that. They got a few buckets at the end, and, you know, try and build on that, I guess.
For sure. And look, they've got a very, very difficult day tomorrow. The quarterfinals against Leicester Riders at the Morningside Arena. So if I'm on the coaching staff here, I'm just trying to find a way where this team can gain confidence or gain some sort of offensive flow taking it into tomorrow. So look, it's a small win, Dan, yes, but they won 29-28 third quarter. I'm trying to win this fourth quarter as well, take it into tomorrow.
And Drew, going to Leicester, that's not a team you want to give open shots to, the way they shoot the ball. Leicester can put 35 on in the quarter if you don't defend them properly.
Absolutely. They lead the league in three-point percentage, so I mean, it's a quick turnaround for these guys, but I'm sure Leicester's watching this game, and they're going to turn up the heat from the word go. You're going to see a lot of mixed coverages defensively, so it doesn't get easy in the British Basketball League.
And I know you two guys didn't experience losing too often. You must have lost a couple of big games somewhere along the line. Is it a good thing that you play the next day, or would you rather like a day or so just to... No,
you'd rather have a game ASAP. Like I said, a game like this, you ball it up, you throw it in the trash. There's nothing to reflect on. I mean, it's a 30, 40-point loss. You know, you got to move on to the next one.
As an athlete, you have to have short-term memory, and it's the best thing ever. When you have a heavy defeat, the greatest thing ever, with a doubleheader, you got a game the next day. Sometimes even less than 24 hours. If you play 7:30 on the Saturday, you have a 4 p.m. tip-off on the Sunday. It's a great opportunity to resurrect your confidence in your team.
McCauley can't make the shot. And again, they're only down 20. It feels like it's a bit more than that. If they could just chip in, if they got it down to even 9 points, the psychology of that as another steal, and Oakley Rapport out in transition, poked away. That'll be an end-line ball.
What an amazing play from Tyreek Armstrong. Okay, it's a game-defining play. No, but Teddy Okorafor, you feel like he's got an open layup here, and Mr. 7 steals, 8 steals, 10 steals. Excuse me. Mr. 10 steals comes and says, nope, that's not an easy one you're having tonight.
And his body language never changes. It's always the same if he makes a great play. And he doesn't look like he ever gets tired. He's in phenomenal shape.
Here's Montford for 3. Good work from Saunders to back that away and come down with the defensive rebound.
I think from a Giants perspective as well, I think Coach Gardner will want them to keep playing. You can sense a little bit of a shift here in intensity and breakdowns as well. That was a breakdown previously on that defensive end. Ben Montford having a wide open 3.
And it's important, like you mentioned, that Manchester plays properly and don't get out of character, because we talked about how Cheshire has Leicester. Manchester has a date as well in the quarterfinals on Sunday.
And that's the interesting thing about having a lead like this. He can, we talk about the depth they have and all the players they have, he can give everybody some good minutes in a game like this and leave his star players, if you like, fresher for Sunday's game.
Yeah, I only like doing that if you're a team that's rolling, but if you've been as inconsistent as the Manchester Giants, these guys need to continue to build chemistry with one another.
Well, and this is off the back of a turnover. Graham, no chance really against a lot bigger opponent. 6'10" against a 5'10", I think, on that occasion. He's only ever one winner.
Boso onto the score sheet for the first time, so that means everybody bar Callum Jones is on the score sheet for Manchester, and Callum's just coming into the game now. Fair to say he scored a fair few points for the Giants in his time. He is their all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, I always like it when the old boys get on court. Gives me a little opportunity to reminisce, you know, back in the day, seeing that Jones jersey run up and down.
Yeah, I'm kind of old enough to remember the Jones with the 6 on the back when his dad used to play. Foul called.
A hard foul too. That was a local derby type of foul.
Well, the referees are just having a conversation about it, whether it was too hard, but it is just a regular foul.
And these minutes are great for Callum Jones, who's been around for a long time. This is his first action in league play. And what fans have to understand is he's doing the same things as these other guys. He's lifting weights every other day. He's practicing every day. So just getting that little bit of court time allow you to keep it going, keep you motivated, because it's easy just to kind of shut off mentally.
You both had to make that adjustment towards the end of your careers where, you know, you were both dominant players in your day, and then towards the end the minutes went down and the contributions you made were smaller. How mentally, as a professional athlete, do you adjust for that?
I found it very difficult, if you want me to be honest. I struggled, and sometimes it'd be really difficult to travel away to a game, and I would always mentally prepare. When I knew I was playing, 25, 30, 35 minutes, I knew my responsibility, I knew what I had to do. But sometimes you could travel somewhere, you'd mentally prepare, and you wouldn't see the court, or you wouldn't see very much of the court. And it's such a come down, isn't it? When you mentally prepare yourself, you make the sacrifices that you need to do, and you don't play. It's really, really difficult. When that inks into the next game, okay, well, I don't want to feel like that again. Yeah. So you kind of, it's really difficult. I find it really difficult.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's one that no one can prepare you for. You just have to go through it. No matter how good of a teammate that you're being, we're all competitors. We all have egos, and we want to be out there and compete.
It's Carey. Tough shot. McCauley trying to keep it alive, and it's going to be a white ball, says the referee. Just got a hand to it. Here is Jones. Here's Saunders for three. Oh, that is an unbelievably tough shot.
It really is, and it's nothing but net on that one as well. He just lines up the shot there and straight down the rim. Typical shot.
Carey for three. Good rebound from Ochorobia, and the foul is called. It's only the second offensive rebound of the game for the Cheshire Phoenix.
And that's what they've missed. That's what he does really, really well, and for whatever reason he hasn't been able to influence the game like he has done previously. And Kingsley in Wagbonso picks up his second, who's been an ever-active body for this Giants team coming off the bench.
And Ochorobia has been a huge miss. Before he went out, the Phoenix were 2-1. They were only giving up 76 points a game. But since he's been out with injury, that number is inflated to 89 points a game, and it doesn't seem like he's been able to get his legs back, as he's fumbled a couple of balls this evening, and they haven't been able to find that cohesiveness with him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I agree, Drew. You can tell he's a player that's coming back from injury. He's not quite there yet. Whether that finger or that hand is still bothering him, but you can just see his timings are a little bit off. And simple plays like the pick and roll from the pass from the point guard, he hasn't quite been able to recover that ball in as quickly and as efficiently as he usually does.
I guess that's the question, because we've got to look at how they can right the ship. Obviously, we all got pretty excited with the lineup that they'd put together. The Cheshire Phoenix. This shot needs to go up here at the end of the shot clock. And I guess it's, I think, what we've seen them 2 weeks in a row. They've been well beaten last week. They're a long way behind here. What needs to change? What is the thing that needs to be different for the Cheshire Phoenix?
Well, there's one example right there, Dan. It's just looking after the basketball. They've turned the ball over at a high rate. 21 turnovers tonight. And so offensively, they're just not in sync. But the concerns for me are the other end of the floor. Last week, they gave up 113 points. Right now, they're on 93. It could be even more. So massive deficiencies on the defensive end.
Yeah, for me, it might be harsh, but they might need to look at making changes. If not making changes, they got to find a way to fill that that last import spot, because if they don't, this league is only going to get tougher. I mean, you got Newcastle Eagles who's getting stronger, Leicester Riders, London on the horizon, and they desperately need a secondary ball handler.
That's off the mark from Mockford. Wright resets himself, misses the three. 93-66 to score midway through the fourth quarter. Carey with the foul.
Just a little too aggressive there. The aggression, for the most part, in the second half has been good. Has been a positive for Cole Carey, but on that occasion, way too, say, a little overzealous.
And you can see on the scoreboard that was his fourth personal foul. There's Anderson spinning baseline and foul by Wright.
And I like that foul by Naaman Wright. Just a hard, aggressive foul. That's something we should have seen earlier in the game. It was a lot of soft reaches. And sometimes a foul like that will set the tone of the game. But right now it's just a little bit too little, too late.
Of course, Anderson now playing with his brother-in-law. I can't remember anybody playing with their brother-in-law. Brothers we've seen, but I don't remember brother-in-law. Callum Jones.
Well, if you don't know, Dan, you know, and I don't know, because you're the man for the stats in the British Basketball League.
And he converts from the free throw line. (95-66). The Manchester Giants lead it. And three from Graham. Chips that away a little bit.
It's a big shot there, and I like what Graham's done. He's came in, he's worked hard. He's not a player that's going to be high on a scouting report, but good for him and the confidence to step into that three-ball and knock it down.
Saunders off the mark. Deflected out of bounds. Cheshire keep it. 4:18 remaining in the ball game. 95-69. Manchester lead. Mockford driving in, has it deflected away, and it came off his leg last.
Good penetration from Ben Mockford. We just couldn't get that ball off his hip. The good deflection there from Francois Lewis, which makes Ben Mockford turn the ball over for number 23.
Anderson. Four minutes to play here. 95-69. McKnight rattles out. Carey trying to keep it in bounds. He does. Mockford. Nice pass. And Ocharobia with the two-handed jab.
That was great look down. Ben Mockford does a dribble, separate himself a little bit more space there. And Mike Ocharobia with a dunk finish.
Well, Carl Carey's evening is done. I don't think he'll be massively disappointed to get himself out of the game the way the scoreboard reads with 3:26 to go.
No, but he's someone who's had a positive impact on the game, especially in the second half. I think the Cheshire Phoenix would have wanted to see him finish the game. 14 points for him, 6 rebounds, and good energy. But he's been a guy as well that's been on the wrong end of the turnover column and notching up 4 for himself.
And the most impressive stat from Carey is the free throws, 6 for 8. He's shooting 30% for the year. So hopefully this just gives him a little bit of confidence moving forward, because if one thing Cheshire needs, they need shooting. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. So,
well, you mentioned the turnovers. Only Williamson has just come into the game, hasn't turned the ball over for Cheshire. Everybody else has got at least one. Okorafor for three. Off the mark. Nice steal from Graham. And he took some contact there from Steele and will go to the line for two.
Oh, good energy there. Graham is, I've liked what he's done. He's came into this game and he's just applied hard work and smart too. I can't think of too many plays where he's made the wrong choice, but again, Graham making something happen.
And that's what you want from your young guys. When they get an opportunity, take advantage of it. You know, he's come out, he's played hard, he's out there competing. That's the only way you're going to grow.
It's a unique experience too. I remember maybe I was 16, 17, getting my first debut as a junior for the Plymouth Raiders, and from head to toe, whole body's in adrenaline. You don't know what you're doing, you're just running around really, really hard. It's a really unique feeling, but it's, you know, Graham's been able to convert it into some positive plays here.
What was that stat line?
Oh, I did get a couple dunks, which sent myself and my home fans in a little bit of a frenzy. But I think it was introduced into a game like this. We were up by 20-30, so it was a happy feel type of game. I wasn't thrust into a 1-point game, but no, I think I had a good 6 points. I think it was 6 points against Kingston Wildcats. Yeah, I remember it well.
I suppose that's the difference, because obviously you were a young kid coming up. Drew, when you came over, you were expected to give people 25 on opening night.
Yeah, I was 22. Fighting for my job and my livelihood straight off the plane.
Almost stolen away, but Cheshire will keep possession of the ball. Right. Getting into the lane. Just left a bit short, but Chirobia on the offensive glass.
And there he is, Dan. Mike Chirobia. This is a good sign for the Phoenix offense. Name on right, penetrating, getting in the heart of that defense. Okay, doesn't convert, but you've got an active Mike Chirobia snatching the rebound from 3 giant defenders there.
Flat that one, but it rattles in.
Just 5 points for him. 5 points, 5 rebounds.
Anderson with the rebound. Hudson. Steele. Did he travel with it? Yes, he did.
Good defense there on Phoenix on that occasion. Stood straight up tall. Josh Steele trying to make something happen. Trying to pierce that defense, but there was no space. Good stance from Graham.
Raffle. Williamson in the corner. Doesn't quite get the roll. Foul is called.
And that's what they don't want at the moment with being in the penalty. Every foul from here on out will result in free throws for this Giants team. We do not need any extra help putting points on the board.
Back iron on the first free throw. Second one wipes its feet.
Well, I don't know if the Manchester Giants have this policy, but a lot of the American teams in the States, when their sports team get 100, they get free hot dogs. So I don't know if that's the case here, but
they come in this way. If they do, we're rooting for one more score.
I know the fans always like to see that.
Chirobia inside. Tough finish.
Yeah, no. It's been a good, positive quarter from him. Takes himself to 7 points personal, but his activity has increased quite substantially.
Lewis is going to take the three, and he's going to swish it home.
Wow, Lewis has missed a couple easy shots today, but that was not an easy shot. He knocks it down with confidence, nothing but net.
Hudson with a little reach in, commits the foul. It's going to be free throws.
Well, we've commented already on it, but Naaman Wright, what a stellar job he's done. I think sometimes that shows mental toughness when there's absolute chaos around and negativity in performance, and to be that positive light still with with the darkness around you. It shows great professionalism, but also mental toughness, and he's done that, and he's done it efficiently as well. 25 points for him.
8 of 13 shooting, 5 of 5 from the line as well. Of course, going against his former team in the Cup quarterfinal tomorrow, down to the Morningside Arena. And a former teammate against him right now, Jamal Anderson. Here's Hudson. Banks in the three. Maybe late on a Friday night, the bank's still open.
It is in Manchester, and they've scored in a number of ways this evening, so why not? Why not add a bank shot three to that?
Roger Rafford has it knocked away. Steal in transition. Good hands from Graham. Really timed that one.
Really good. He knows he's at a significant disadvantage if he goes after that one for a block shot. So he uses good timing, anticipation, and quick hands to knock it out of bounds.
It's still very loud in here. They've really enjoyed this. Here's Graham. Gives it to Wright, and Wright will lay in 2 more.
Smart play again. Graham on the other end of a positive play.
McKnight drives in, drops it off. That's an unsportsmanlike foul on Naaman Wright. A little too aggressive for the referee's liking.
Good penetration there by McKnight.
It's the grab around the waist or the ribs that the referee took exception to.
I still hate that call.
Well, in the old days, if you didn't foul somebody like that, you got benched. So
yeah, it's true. It's true.
That just means you're old, brother.
Game's gone soft, Dan. The game's gone soft.
You just stand out on the 3-point line shooting these days.
Exactly. 6'11" guys, 50% 3-point shooters. What's going on?
Here's Lewis. Knocked away by Rafford, but the foul is called. Quite often in a game like this, it just sort of goes up and down. They don't get into foul trouble, they don't shoot free throws, but in a local derby, it still matters even on the last play.
Now, if they give out yellow cards in basketball, I know there would have been a couple thrown out today.
Well, despite the fact nobody's lining up, it wasn't an unsportsmanlike foul. They just weren't lining up, and now the Knicks players will. See if they dribble it out or go for one more score. Because Williamson's playing his first minutes in the BBL. It could give him at least his first score, but Graham's going to take it, and Graham's going to knock it down, and Manchester will dribble this one out. Dominant performance, really. That second quarter where they put 35 points on the board was where they really asserted their dominance on this game, and they're good value for the winning margin as well.
They are. That second quarter was like a It was like a knockout blow, and you could just see that the Cheshire Phoenix, again, they were dazed and confused. They had no real response for what the Manchester Giants were putting on them on both ends of the floor, and there was no recoverability after that. A positive spark for them in the third quarter, but they needed a lot more than that.
And both these teams now will look forward to the Cup quarter-final. Cheshire tomorrow and Manchester on Saturday. It'll be an easier road trip for Manchester going on the back of a big win than it will be for Cheshire on the back of a big loss.
Yeah, Giants high on confidence right now. You know, you'd want a 28-point win under your belt going into a win or go home situation. Cheshire Phoenix are at the other end. They have to dig real deep here and try and turn their fortunes around.
Well, big win for the Manchester Giants. We'll have all the reaction with Nat courtside.
What a win for the Manchester Giants. Ton up once again, and then some. I tell you what, Kieran and Cheshire are not going to want to appear on Sky Sports for a little while, are they?
Well, you know, it was a tough 3 quarters for Cheshire. Again, have to get back home, start thinking, regrouping, what do we need to work on?
Turnovers the issue once again for Cheshire. 24 following last week's performance as well, where they were just giving the ball away too easily. And look at that offensive prowess from the Giants. How much of that was down to Manchester? How much of it was down to poor defense from Cheshire?
Well, like I said, I think Giants found a way to turn their defense into offense really quickly. And it's uncharacteristic of the Phoenix to turn the ball over like that. So they're one of the better teams at protecting the ball, so I think it was a bit of both.
All right, lots of standout performances for the Manchester Giants, but no doubt about our MVP. Tariq Armstrong is courtside with Drew.
Tariq, 4th win against the Cheshire Phoenix this season. Talk about that team performance.
I feel like we played with great energy tonight. We came and got after it from the jump to the end.
And you set the tone early, finishing with 13 points, 7 assists, and a club record 10 steals. How does it feel to be in the record books?
It feels good. I just come out, play hard, and lead the rest up to God.
And everybody contributed. You got great depth this season. How far can this team go this year?
I feel like the sky's the limit. It's always us versus us. So there's really no telling how far we're going to take it.
And you got the Cup quarterfinals on Sunday. You looking forward to that?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Great job, my man. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
This guy was absolutely everywhere tonight. A double-double, 10 steals, as Drew mentioned. Most of those in the first half as well, dictating the pace of play. If there was a player that demonstrated the energy and the drive, the speed at which this Giants offense was playing tonight, Kieran Achara, it was Tariq Armstrong.
Yeah, he was definitely there. And you know what? From a Jamie Edwards perspective, he brought him in. That was the type of player he was. So I think he sees a little bit of himself in this, and it's great to see. Like I said, it created so much energy and easy scores, built on the confidence, and he was at the heart of the Giants tonight.
Lots of positives, obviously, for the Giants tonight. Let's key in on the bench strength, because it's a point you made at the top of the show. We talked about it at half-time. We're looking at the match stats at the end of the game. 7 players in double digits, and we were working it out. It could have been quite conceivably 9, couldn't it?
It was phenomenal, and that's, again, it comes down to their offense. On this team, there's 5 players who average double figures. You never know who's going to turn up. They move the ball really well. They're unselfish. They get wide open shots. Every shot they take, it's going up. Maybe Will Saunders takes a couple of times, big shots. But other than that, you know exactly what you're expecting through the movement of the ball. So I think it's great. Shows from a Lloyd Gardner perspective just how much he's got the team to buy in.
That 3 from Will Saunders took the roof off with about 6 minutes ago.
Brilliant. I've seen him do it in so many years. It's great to see him do it in the big stage in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and the home crowd absolutely loved their team's performance, unsurprisingly. It was brilliant stuff. Must have put a smile on the face of their head coach as well. He's courtside with Drew.
Hey, Coach, you talked about it pregame. Defense was the key. You happy with that performance?
Yeah. I mean, you're the one who told me we held teams to 70 in the Cup, 90 in the league. So 81, we weren't quite there, but yeah, a lot better today. Really pleased, yeah.
And the game seemed to change in the second quarter. What was different in your team?
I just thought the energy. I thought we were flat, maybe a little nervous in the first quarter. I don't think defensively we played well at all in that first 10 minutes. And I thought, as we've been talking about, strength and depth. You know, guys came in, gave a great lift, great energy, and everybody else just fed off that.
And talking about depth, you only got one player averaging over 30 minutes this season. How important is that having depth like that?
Yeah, well, we play 3 games in 6 days. You know, this is the first, so it's tough. We've got a couple of older bodies. So, as I said to you, like off camera, you know, it's a philosophy of mine to have deep teams. I think in the BBL, it's a tough league with all the games, all the travel. So I wanted that, and our guys, you know, they've bought into it. It's different for some of them. It's hard having to go in and out, but yeah, they've bought into it well. Really pleased, and today we kind of saw the reason why it works for us.
And speaking of games rolling in, you got the Cup quarterfinals on Sunday. You guys looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get through this one, and then, you know, a couple of hours we'll be refocused and ready to go for Surrey. You know, they've got a good team, good coach in Creon, a guy I respect a lot. So, you know, they've had a week to prepare for us. I'm sure they'll be ready. So we've got to regroup, enjoy this one while we can, and then get on to the next one.
Great win, Coach. Thanks for your time.
That's great. Thank you.
Great for them in victory. Humble as well, Kieran. But they've got to be going into that game on Sunday, given the form that they're in, really fancying their chances.
Yeah, definitely. I watched them, you know, dismantle the Glasgow Rocks last week, and they looked so fluid, like, especially offensively. I was still questioning their defence. Is it going to be as consistent? But tonight it showed that they can be consistent. They've got individual players who can make big plays in the defensive end as well, but they've got a real good team philosophy. So, you know, the sky's the limit there for the Giants.
I just want to key in on that a little bit more. Why have you had concerns about the defence being consistent week in, week out?
Just because it's lapses. Sometimes you see the lapses. You know, sometimes I see from a defensive perspective on the pick and rolls. For example, Dan drops off a little bit. Dan Clark drops off a little bit. They attack him. But today I see how they covered. Dan was creating the space, and they were clogging the lanes as well. There was nothing easy inside. So to me, when it's consistency, I've seen consistency from London Lions. I've seen consistency from Leicester Riders, and that's why they're up there at the top of the table. Manchester are ready to compete if they can keep that consistency for the 40 minutes.
And you'd assume as well, the point about Dan, that's only going to get more and more fluid and more apparent as the season goes on, right?
Especially as the players start to understand themselves. And like I said, when you have a system, you can correct that. You can see the mistakes. Right now, there's some teams in this league that I can't see what they're trying to achieve defensively. It's very much individual plays.
All right, good night for Lloyd Gardner. Bad night for the Cheshire Phoenix coach, Ben Thomas. But he's taken time to chat to us. He's courtside now with Drew.
Hey, Coach, 18-18 in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, defense, Manchester turned up the defense. What went wrong for you guys in that second?
Exactly what you just said. That's where we lost the game. They really turned on the pressure, and I think we had 9 turnovers that quarter. You know, we go into half-time 14 less shots than that one Manchester had taken, and you know, it's hard to compete when you turn the ball over that much.
0-4 in the league. How do you guys plan to turn this thing around?
Hard work.
And obviously, you guys got the Cup semifinals coming tomorrow. What do you say to these guys in the locker room?
Yeah, quarterfinals against Leicester. Obviously, it's going to be a quick turnaround and a real tough game. Like, these games aren't getting any easier. Look, we've seen towards the end of the game, like, if we play hard, we can get some success. Like, I'm not taking any moral victories here. I thought Robbie Graham was an amazing spark for us today. The effort that he put in, Kyle Carey putting his body on the line. If we have guys like that play tomorrow night, I'll be more than happy.
Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You were impressed with Kyle Carey's attitude, weren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's a dog. You know, I think he's got a little bit of grit behind him. You know, and right now I see a lot of heads dropping, and that body language, you know, it's infectious. It runs through the team. We need someone to step up and kind of keep the guys positive and making sure. And I think Kyle Carey is one of those players who can do that.
Do you anticipate, because the guys suggested it, possibly it might happen in commentary, do you anticipate roster changes coming?
The way it's going, what else can they do? Like right now, they're given opportunities to buy into certain things. It's not happening that way. You can see that there's a lot. I've seen it so many times. There's always changes occurring.
It helps if you have leaders like Dan Clark on your side. The Team GB skipper, 12 points, including 2 big threes today. What do you make overall of his contribution, Kieran?
You know what? I love how he just doesn't force anything. You know, he just lets everything come to him. You know, he's running the floor there, getting some big dunks. You know, Dan playing above the rim, that's not something I'm used to seeing on a weekly basis. But yeah, you can see he's just enjoying it. Being a role model and a leader as well within that team.
Delighted to say Drew Lasker back with us now. Drew, you can see with the pictures just there, fans absolutely love the performance tonight, and Dan has galvanised this organisation. He's a superstar, and you can see how much the fans love him.
Yeah, Dan, like I mentioned at the top, it's great to have someone of his caliber in our league, and you see the impact that he's making on the Manchester Giants. They're one of the favorites to win some silverware this season, so we'll see how it pans out.
Just on the impact he has on his teammates as well, because there are some seasoned vets here that have achieved quite a lot. Jamel Anderson, we'll take a look at it in just a moment, most notably perhaps. But for the younger players, and indeed the other players that maybe haven't achieved as much as Dan in their career, what kind of impact is he going to have on their season, do you think?
Well, he brings that level of respect. Whenever he speaks, those guys are going to be listening. They should be absorbing everything that he says and be a sponge, because he's played it at the very highest level. So if anybody can teach them anything, it's Dan Clark.
Well, I mentioned Jamel Anderson. He had a good game, and he's also taken our play of the day. Talk us through this one, Kieran.
Yeah, you know what? Tariq just sees the open floor. Jamel has always been great at running the floor. You know, he's always down there before anyone else, and there we get disgusting finish.
It's the bonus disgusting from Kieran Shah. I think that's definitely the first of the season. What do you make of his contribution tonight?
Jamel Anderson, he's a winner. I mean, he's brought that winning mentality to this team, that defense tenacity. That second quarter display that Manchester put on, Jamel Anderson got a lot to do with that. But like we talked about, he can guard 1 through 5. He's going to be a big factor to this team.
It wasn't all doom and gloom for Cheshire. Namon Wright was their standout performer, their leading scorer, 26 points. We keyed in on him in our first half analysis, the fact that he was driving, Drew, so much of their offense. But he was, I think you used the phrase in commentary, too little too late coming from around him. He was kind of all alone right now tonight in terms of what he was contributing compared to those around him.
Yeah, he competed tonight. He was aggressive from the start, but it's just not enough. I mean, they need a little bit more firepower, so it's going to be interesting to see where Cheshire goes from here.
Are we looking at Manchester as title contenders? I know it's early doors, Kieran, but based on that performance, based on what we've seen so far this season, they've got to be up there with a chance, don't they?
You know, the thing I like from a Lloyd Gardner perspective, I've watched them grow. So, I'll give you an example. I watched them play against Glasgow Rocks at the start of the season. The adjustments they made for the second game, it was drastic, and it made all the difference. So, with that kind of mindset, the only way is up for them. So, am I saying they're title contenders? Who knows?
Serious identity already forming, though, which would put them in with a good shot, you would think. But fair play, early doors, wait and see. There's a lot of basketball to play. Now, every week during the season, we mic up players, sometimes coaches, sometimes officials as well, to bring you an inside look at the game on the court. This time we had Dan Clark and Noah Dickinson. Let's hear the sound of the games from them.
Good job. Good one, bro. How you doing? I'll give you one after the game if we win.
There we go. There we go. You good? Hey, Kyle. Hey, Kyle, you're good, dog. Hey, you're good, Kyle. Next one going in, bro. There you go, bro.
My fault. My fault. Oh, follow through. Yo, we got the nerves out of the way. We got the nerves out of the way now. We can play now. Just focus on playing. It's not bad. Just tweak it.
Hey, bro, you good, bro? I ain't mean to step on your ankle.
No, it's fine, bro. I don't know what happened, bro. Sorry. Hey, keep it up, fellas. Keep it up. Watch out, Reed.
Man, Robbie can play, and he's quick. You know what I mean? And he's quick, and he's super strong. I would have been throwing him out there.
Same on Sunday. Same on Sunday. Well played. Same on Sunday. Let's go.
Guys.
It's the key, isn't it? Same on Sunday.
Yeah, they got a quick turnaround, and this is the perfect game to take the momentum into Sunday, and they got a perfect opportunity to move to the semifinals.
Speaking of which, let's take a look at the BBL Cup semi-final draw. And both our teams tonight in action, of course. London playing Sheffield, Leicester or Cheshire. The winners of those two will play in the semi-final. And indeed, Conversely, Glasgow and Bristol square off, and the winner of that will play the winner of Manchester versus Surrey. Not the only silverware of the season, of course, the BBL trophy draw in play. That took place earlier on this week. This is the top half of the draw, and some big guns in that top half, including the Lions, the Eagles, the Giants, the Riders, the Sharks, who started their season so strongly. The other half of the draw, we see teams, of course, from the NBL involved. So wide open on that side of the draw, in particular for the Cheshire Phoenix and Kieran Achara for the Glasgow Rocks.
Yeah, and my old club, Sonny Centre Fury, Falkirk Fury in there in the mix from representing from Scotland. But yeah, from a Glasgow Rocks perspective, I mean, it's looking good.
It most certainly is. BBL getting underway, the trophy that is soon. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out. The final, of course, live here on Sky Sports. Now, you have seen 4 of the 5 faces on your screen in action tonight. 4 players named into the Team GB World Cup qualifier squad, and the 5th on the far right, the Glasgow Rocks leader, an old friend of Kieran Achara, of course, Gareth Murray. And guess what? You'll be seeing him in action next week, because our live game next Friday night sees us heading up to Glasgow. Not a big trek for you, Kieran.
Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Rocks for the first time this season, and indeed the Bristol Flyers too, as usual, on air from 7 o'clock, 7:30 tip. Quick line on the Rocks this season. Kieran, at the top of the season, you were optimistic about their chances. How's it playing out so far?
Off to a shaky start, but I'm still seeing glimmers of hope. So yeah, I'm still very, very optimistic.
Good news keeps on coming. We're not only seeing Glasgow and Bristol for the first time, but Mike Tuck, the captain of the Sheffield Sharks, joining us in Glasgow next week, Drew.
Yeah, you know Mike Tuck's going to bring that heat for us, so it'd be good to see him in the flesh.
Each and every time. It is great to see both of you once again. Thanks, as ever, for your insight and analysis. Well, what a performance from the Manchester Giants. Maybe too early to call them title contenders right now, but that was laying down a marker. We'll see you next Friday. Bye for now.
I represent the game, I represent the fame, burning with desire like the Olympic flame. I'm out to make it tame, you bound to know my name, like Thorn is the king, so I'm here to make a claim. What up? So what up? What up? So what up? So what up? Always been represented, never had limitations. My destination is elevation, no hesitation. Destined to lead a nation, have the sleep and awaken, holding the torch high on the path of illumination. Steady giving the chase, always leading the race. They be giving the chase, do they have what it takes? It's the land of the brave, and the master of the maze. I'ma keep representing, from cradle to the grave. I represent